been off on saying that he would kick Mike Tyson's ass.
Who, Nate?
Yeah,
Did you say that?
Oh, well, it was a comment about how him and Roy Jones are both so old. I'm like, freaking Nate Robinson kicked both their asses, and then Nate Robinson gets beat up by a YouTuber.
Well, Jake Paul's knocked out everyone he's faced so far.
I thought he got beat like severely his first fight.
Maybe he did. It was like against some KSI guy or something like that, like a different YouTuber, and it's supposed to be a rematch. I don't know, or it was I think it was a decision.
Either way,
but since then, Jake Paul goofy looking, but I wouldn't want to be hit by him.
I wouldn't want to pay for a fight that Jake Paul's fighting in.
No,
dude's in
would
good shape though. I will give him credit there.
Yeah, I mean, he's got knockout power. So I mean, if he can refine everything, I don't know why. We just started streaming. We're talking about Jake Paul of all things and people.
Knockout power for an amateur. You know what I mean? Let's also clarify. Jake Paul's like, you put him in the ring with someone in his actual weight class that's a professional fighter, he'll get eaten alive.
One would think we're going to see it though, because he's becoming a money draw, so we're going to see it, which is crazy.
Him versus Conor, get out of here.
That'd be so fun. He's too big though. Jake Paul's too big. Is what I mean. No, I mean like physically.
Yeah, but
I just don't.
But
see.
an exhibition match.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Tyson had 15 or so pounds on Roy. I don't know. Football show talking boxing. We haven't started the actual podcast yet, but it does. I agree. I concur. I concur. Have your questions ready. Be sure to call in if you want to just talk football or ask a question or tell Neil how sweet his hat is. He got the WFT hat on.
Yeah.
Washington football team has a sweet hat. If the Dolphins weren't playing well, I might be a
Washington football skin. Football skin. Jesus Christ.
Might be a football skin fan.
Football skin.
Good old football skins.
Oh, I did get a fair warning. Frank said he might be calling in.
Dude, he messaged me, and I'm all for having him come on. But when he calls in, he can't be on the whole show.
I get it.
Because he'll try. Yeah. You'll try, Frank. I know you. You'll try to be on the whole show. And there's three of us. It's kind of, if Neil sits out one day, then we bring Frank in, or Arm sits out. But the Fuego Frank can't take over.
Well, he's no longer Fuego Frank.
I think he's just Frank.
Just Frank now.
Frank.
When I mean, I give him credit. He hit on some stuff, but
Frank was fun. This is what it's all about. It's fun. Good times and fun. So
what are you thinking about? And I know Neil has some complaints about this. L.A. just
L.A.
keeping their studs.
L.A.
The two main ones, anyway. I mean, some of the other parts are obviously very interchangeable.
Talk about LeBron and Anthony
Yeah.
Davis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lebron.
Yeah.
Did you say Lebron?
Yeah, Lebron.
And then Neil's poor Rockets. Like, I mean, they upgraded from Westbrook to John Paul.
But Harden hasn't been dealt yet, right?
Huh? No, he's still there.
So, I mean,
but he wants out.
He don't have a choice. He's staying there. I mean, if it's like something like it's in like the first 25 to 30 games they're not performing well, I can see him being moved or something.
And I think a lot of it had to do with Westbrook, right?
It's possible. I mean, you never get the real story. So
that's true. All right, we're going to start talking some football. We've got a few viewers ready to rock and roll, so let's do it. Going to be a simple intro for me. Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show, where we tell each other to shut up. 3, 2, 1. Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we're talking Week 13 sits and starts, and we'll probably talk about Jake Paul and all kinds of other crazy shit on the Back Row Fantasy Show starting now.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Neil Crabtree.
Viewers
talked right on the intro.
You just said something. I responded to what you said,
but I had it muted, and then I unmuted it. And Arms is like, "Can I talk now? Is it my turn?"
I was just waiting.
Is it time for me to talk? Hey.
Patiently waiting for a track to explode when you know.
Welcome again to the Back Row Fantasy Show. As usual, it is me, Bark, not to be confused with Bart, as in Simpson, because on my YouTube channel, Obscure Mike's cheap plug. People are like, "Yeah, good job, Bart." I'm like, who the fuck is Bart? Who the fuck is that guy?
I get called Eric so regularly.
Eric.
Yeah,
Why?
my name's Aaron. And people call me Eric.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, at
interesting.
work.
Really?
At work, you know, like, hey, thank you. This is Aaron. Hey, Eric, can you do this for? It's Aaron.
I like Neil's thing. ERIN.
No.
Hey, Aaron. Aaron. I like it. By the way, Arms is to my left.
Morning.
Eric is to my
Eric,
left.
shut up.
And Neil is to my right. Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Thank you for joining us this fine evening where we'll be talking fine wine, dining, and romance.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
Or we could talk about football. So anyways, first thing on my mind, Ravens-Steelers game. Was it unfair to the Ravens? Yay or nay?
Was it unfair to every other team in the NFL that they moved heaven and earth to fucking accommodate the Ravens?
I'm with you. The only other topic I want to bring up is like the whole Broncos thing. Did the Broncos get kind of screwed, whereas the Ravens had more of a chance? I don't know how to look at it.
So the theory behind it, there's video of the Broncos quarterbacks in a room with their masks off.
That's how I see it.
I personally don't think the Broncos got screwed.
I
don't
agree.
for them, but the Niners, I believe, did get screwed because Niners had like they're pretty much a whole damn team out between injuries and COVID.
That's kind of more long term though with the Niners.
Well,
right?
they had a lot of COVID too, a lot of COVID issues. A lot of players, and they had to be thrown out there and fight. And
Right? I didn't realize that they had that many issues. What the one thing that pisses me off is, I mean, why wasn't that game moved?
because remember Kendrick Bourne got everybody infected. And they had no receivers at all, and they had some defensive line out.
We got all Giants fan at the B League says, Neil, get that dang hat off. It's too sweet. It's just too sweet.
Woo! Oh, sorry.
Wolfpack, NWO, Washington football team.
No, so the way and listen, this is just me being, I'm sure, a bitter Raiders fan.
Probably.
But Vegas had whenever we were playing Tampa Bay,
We'll get your question in one moment.
So was it Tampa Bay? Long story short, it was a week where we were supposed to play Sunday night. There were some positive tests. I believe Trenton Brown had exposure. The offensive line was potentially exposed, and in theory, you moved the game to Monday night or Tuesday night, right?
Right.
No, they moved it to Sunday morning. Sunday was the early slate on Sunday. So it goes from Sunday night
Easy like Sunday morning.
to 1 o'clock on Sunday. It's in it for. I understand the thought process for the league. If you're consistent about it, I understand it. But they move it so they still have a Sunday night game, the whole Football Night in America thing. I get that, but now there's no Thursday night game. Right? Nobody gives a crap about that. They moved this game and postponed it, 3 times?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, down to the minute. And then they have it at 3:40 in the afternoon? Who starts a game at 3:40 on a Wednesday?
I did enjoy waking up and watching this.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. I mean, I get your drift there, but football, like every day, if we end up getting a game a day, that's going to be pretty cool.
It's like a Monday when Washington plays like a 5 o'clock or something, like the first Monday night game.
Yeah, but you know, it irritates the heck out of me because I'm sitting there, like, I hunt, and this is hunting season in Ohio, so I got out of the woods, and I'm like...
Is it wabbit season?
No, deer season.
Okay.
So I get out of the woods, and I go to load up DraftKings to set my showdown lineup, which is one of my favorite things to do with DraftKings, and...
Do you take a camouflage case on your phone?
No.
Okay.
It's black.
I've never been hunting. I don't understand how it works.
I think you can hunt without the camo case.
Yeah, you're good without the camo case.
Okay. So bright pink is
just whatever's available, right?
awesome.
But no, I get to set a lineup, and it's like the fourth quarter's about to start. Like, of what?
That does suck. I was scared to death that I didn't set my lineups Thursday before the game, and I was looking. I was like, oh shit,
There's no game.
All right.
Although it would have been a proper screwing to have them play Wednesday and Thursday. And you know what? They would have deserved it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
First, folks watching the stream, just so I know, do our voices match the audio? Because sometimes I have to mess with that a little bit. 2, I can't pronounce the first set of letters, but Mark Lee asks, since Jonnu Smith is out, do you go with Dalton Schultz or Kyle Rudolph? Me, easy off the rip. It's Dalton Schultz for me. Rudolph, I feel like the big reason that he was productive was Adam Thielen's absence. Adam Thielen is back.
Irv Smith was out too.
Irv Smith was out too. But with Thielen back, I don't expect Rudolph to perform like he had been. So I personally would go with Schultz. Anybody got Rudolph on that one?
No, I mean, even historically, Kyle Rudolph is like 2 catches, 18 yards, and a touchdown on his good days.
And to be fair, I'm not excited about either one of them. But
But Dalton Schultz has been consistently
Yeah.
okay.
Consistently mediocre
Consistently okay.
instead of bad, okay, bad. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I'm with Barker 100%. Dalton Schultz.
I will say if Trey Burton is on your waiver wire, that's one of my plays this week. So I'm big on Trey Burton this week.
Just
so
giving it away, dude. Giving it away. They don't even have to listen to the whole episode now.
I'm the Chili Peppers, baby.
That's all they wanted.
That's all they wanted. Okay. So
Know who the cheap tight end play was.
right. Well,
Ridiculous, man.
it's week 13. We do have one. How many bye weeks is there? Just Tampa?
No, Carolina and
Yeah,
Tampa.
Tampa and
Carolina and Tampa.
And that
so
does-
no Ian Thomas and no Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah,
that
but-
Ian Thomas one hurts.
I have no Mike Davis, which kind of sucks. No, Curtis Samuel.
I have no Curtis Samuel. I've got way too many shares of Curtis Samuel across my leagues.
That's not a bad thing right now.
Yeah, no, it's but it's very heavy on a bye week at an important time.
Right. We have anything else before we start talking about these games? Our episodes have run a little long in the tooth, so we might as well start if we don't have anything else going on. I'm sure we'll have questions and call-ins, maybe call-ins. We don't get a lot. Last time was the some girls at a party called in. But I think that's due to us also broadcasting on Facebook. Not a great idea. Zuckerberg will get you. So you got anything else, or do we start on this first game on the docket?
Just rock and roll in the first game.
Rock and roll. Okay, this is one of the games I actually am very intrigued to see, and I hope that it is broadcasting in our area. The Browns and the Titans. A battle of a hot Titans team, battle of, honestly, kind of a hot Cleveland team as well. It's hot in Cleveland.
You know,
Betty.
Cleveland Baker Mayfield is getting a mountain of shit
And he's the 5th-rated passer over the last 6 weeks.
yeah, and like,
And I still don't think he's that
what do they
good.
got? 3 losses? Is it 3 losses?
I think it's 4.
But either way, like, they're winning.
Yeah, they're
Are
having
they-
a good season.
Are they winning with him throwing for 350 yards a game and 4 touchdowns? No,
Run game and Baker.
that's fine.
It is fine.
Like, people get off of Baker because listen,
He's not elite, but if he
Yes.
can win with a good running game, what's the problem?
The only thing, being honest, because I'm forced to watch Browns games.
I love it. I love your honesty.
The best thing is that from him that he's done is not turned the ball over the last 5 games.
Yeah, yeah.
He's,
That's
the thing is,
huge.
like, he's made so many terrible throws, but
Oh,
he's
God,
he's
yeah.
made some good ones too. But he's doing all that's needed to win anyway. But like I said, he's not been perfect. He's been average. I mean, Browns fans will actually say he's average too. But as long as he's keeping the ball from the other player's hands, I mean the opponent's hands, that's fine.
Right.
I mean, what more could you ask for? Right?
Well,
I mean, Brad Johnson
with-
has a Super Bowl.
With the state
You know
of the
what I mean?
league and quarterbacks, I mean, not much. I mean, I'd rather have Baker than the other half. You know,
the half below him.
he's a top 15, 16 guy than
Yeah.
the other half.
Yeah. Now, I don't think we've seen all that he's got though.
No, I feel like he could possibly just progress a little bit each year, but I don't think there's going to be any huge leap out of the gate.
Some of this has got to give though. Like I said,
Rookie year was
some of
still-
his throws he makes are just like questionable. Like how do you miss like wide open like Kareem Hunt? It's like
No, I'm with you there.
it's like really terrible throws. But then once again, he makes some good ones too.
Yeah. But he's not Mitchell Trubisky thrown into triple coverage. I mean, that's
Yeah, with dudes literally crossing, and that's pretty much like Robinson's wide open. He's like, I guess so. This guy with 3
so
people on him.
bad, man. I don't know what happened to him because he didn't look that bad his rookie year, but he's just kind of like Carson Wentz. He's just regressed, and it's just weird to see.
It's old, but we'll get to that one here soon.
He fell off of a cliff, is what he
He
did.
fell off of a cliff. Well, yeah, we'll get to that one soon. Cleveland, Tennessee. I honestly believe Tennessee wins this game.
They're -6, by the way, which is like that's a big number.
Yeah, it is a big number, but I feel like they're on a hot streak, and I feel like the Browns are susceptible to teams on a hot streak, and I feel like Derrick Henry is not going to have a huge game. I feel like Ryan Tannehill is going to bring it this week.
Yeah, all the Browns' defense is back.
Yeah, and I feel like Tannehill is going to find A.J. Brown and Corey Davis often, and there's going to be another spark plug somewhere. I don't know if it's Anthony Ferkser with Jonnu Smith out or if it's going to be someone else to step up, but I feel like Tannehill is going to have a pretty big game. That's not just because Cleveland's pass D is spotty. I just think Tennessee takes this one in a close one. But fantasy-wise, I want Tannehill. He's one of my plays of the week. Derrick Henry, of course, you start him, but I wouldn't expect 40.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect 40 from him.
See, I don't know. I mean, the Raiders beat him, and how did the Raiders win football games? Running the ball. I mean, establish a run, and I mean, as a Raiders fan, there's no question on who the more talented running back is between Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, it's Derrick Henry.
By a mile.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? And I think Jacobs is doing
Solid.
really well, but
Yeah.
I mean, the Raiders beat him, and it was close. It was, I mean, ugly. It was 16-6, but I think this game is one on the ground that Tennessee just establishes dominance and goes. And Tennessee has some good wide receivers, solid tight end. I mean, well, Johnny Smith is out.
Yeah, but Johnny
But Ferkser's fine too.
Yeah.
Johnny is basically Kyle Rudolph right now. He's touchdown dependent, and he has been most of the year.
Yeah, Ferkser would be a very good low cost DK matchup.
I agree.
I agree with that too, because he should get the targets. He should have 6 or 7. It just depends on what he does with them.
Yeah, I'm basically just interested to see if Landry actually has another good game.
Right.
Of course, last week when I was playing against him, he had his best game of the season. So I'm interested to see if he'll fall flat this game. Watch.
I think I'm not playing him anywhere.
Who?
Landry.
No,
I'm sorry.
I feel like he's coming on a little bit.
He's a 3 or 4. I mean, week in and week out. I mean, that's where you want to put him at. But
I'm okay playing Landry.
I have no faith in him stringing together back-to-back solid weeks.
I don't either. But it's like one of those guys. You're still going to throw him in at your 3 or 4.
He hasn't been 100% for a lot of the season, though, too. He had the rib issue, and he might be coming out of that. I actually like Landry in this one. Real quick, Hollywood asks, I have Josh Jacobs out this week. We all do, buddy. Actually, none of us have Jacobs.
Sadly.
Should I start J.K. Dobbins or Raheem? To me, that's very dependent on Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram was also him and J.K. were both on the COVID list. I've seen J.K.'s good. I haven't seen anything about Ingram.
And of course, Gus is going to see touches too.
Gus the Gummy Gator Edwards, but I think I thought I saw that he was questionable.
Ingram or
Gus. I could be wrong.
That I don't know.
Regardless, my pick is Raheem.
My pick is also Raheem unless Mark Ingram is out. Even if Gus is in and JK's in, I like JK
I like JK regardless.
Situation.
I mean, Dallas has a ridiculously bad run defense.
They've been better here of late.
But, I mean, on the year, I mean, you can string together a couple decent games, but who'd they play? You know what I mean? When you play crap, you can look okay whenever you play Wayne Gallman and, well, I guess Antonio Gibson's doing pretty well, but Dallas is bottom 5 in the league in production allowed to fantasy running backs.
But I also think Raheem Mostert, I think the Niners know if they're going to beat the Bills, they're going to have to establish the run game early. So if Mostert gets going, Mostert's a good running back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he really is a good running back. He just isn't in there enough. So it's a draw. I mean, it's pick your poison, but there's situations that could play out to make me go JK.
But but the way is like Raheem's going to see goal line carries. It's just like when
you score from 50 out, you don't need a goal line carry.
Definite.
Yeah.
Score from 50 out, you don't need a goal line carry.
Is that what JK's doing this week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Harvey's called that one.
He's going to have, he's utilizing the passing game. I mean, they just, and more than anything, Baltimore wants to run the ball. The Niners could be behind and eliminate Raheem Mostert from the game.
Yeah.
Like, he could be lost in game script because they're down 21. That's my thought on it.
Mm.
Also, can I get some love this week? Mike Glennon played well.
I think I missed on everything last week, so I just forgot about it.
Okay.
I just blacked that whole week out.
So basically all our bets, just push all the chips to me and we'll move on.
Well,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else,
Okay.
what other bets we made, but
You didn't see Derrick Henry having a big game. I thought he would, even though it was against the Colts without DeForest Buckner, and he shredded him.
Yeah.
And it's just typical Barker stuff.
no, I think every you should play this guy just fell on their face.
Yeah.
I think,
But it's week on, week off. Your picks might be the ones to go with this week.
Last week was just possibly the worst, and it was just a horrible week for me overall in fantasy.
Well, the thing is, like, where I had that big choice between playing T, Gallup, or Keelan Cole, and at least, of course, the guy I play was Keelan Cole, and he's got the least amount of points.
So risky.
That's just a bad situation to be
Yes, I
in
mean,
there.
Cole got Higgins got, I think, 15, and Gallup got 10.
I did call Higgins. I did say you play Higgins out of that.
But either way, it's stupid. Glennon did good and didn't get.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
he
what,
was-
2 touchdowns?
Yeah, no interceptions. I don't think
I
he
don't
threw
know.
one.
Okay,
Yeah,
either way,
it's not like he's good.
260 some. But yeah, anybody else in Cleveland, Tennessee land? Is there any other guys we're looking at? I mean,
And then nothing outside the obvious, like
I'd-
the Ferkser play. But
I'd love to talk IDP, but there's really nothing
yeah,
there.
yeah,
for
nothing
me.
new anyway.
Yeah, no.
Correct.
You're going to play the guys you've been playing if they're any good on defense there. So, Las Vegas and the Jets.
Play of the week.
Can the Jets do it?
Devonta Booker, baby.
Can the Jets? Devontae Booker, he's my Tim Patrick at running back, man. Devontae Booker is a guy I never felt got a fair shake. And every time he touches the ball for the Raiders, he does a little something with it.
Well, the Raiders have a pretty fair offensive line.
Yeah. And like we said last week, you could run behind
Yeah.
the best offensive line in the league and average 2 yards a carry.
So Booker's only got over eight or more carries twice this year. One, he had 68 yards and a touchdown, and the other one had 81 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Is he the guy with Jacobs out?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, he would be the guy.
Okay.
Who the hell else are they going to play?
I don't know. I don't even know who. Do they have another running back?
Jalen Richard.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Booker's the guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Booker should
I
the
could
guy.
be missing something, but there's just no way that it's not going to be Booker. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it says right here, we'll take the lead role against Jets.
Have you-
Jets are 30th in the league in run defense.
I have a feeling Jets are going to play him tough for some reason.
Well, because
the
they have-
Jets have been playing better. Except last. Never mind.
It's an 8-point spread, and that's
Never
pretty
mind.
juicy.
It is.
Yeah. So I still think the Raiders. I think they walk away with it.
They should.
Now Aguilar, I think, was on the injury report. I haven't.
Yeah,
seen,
he's questionable. He hasn't practiced all week.
yeah.
Could we get some Brian Edwards action? Can he actually do something
That's
this week?
Probably not.
That's where I was going to go with that. If Aguilar can't go, there is a chance that Edwards has some value. And whenever I say it, we're talking a pure desperation play. You know, you have nobody else. You've got some Mike Evans on a bye. You know, Curtis Samuel on a bye, and if Aguilar was the other guy and he's out, there's your chance to play Brian Edwards and hell, if you got Kenny Galladay too, you got an awesome wide receiver core, but you can't play anybody this week.
Yeah. Galladay's been, I mean, it's mostly injury, but it's just been disappointing.
Hey, I'm starting to feel Galladay is pulling Mike Thomas right now.
Yeah, because he's a free agent too. And I mean, if I'm Galladay, no way in hell am I signing back with the Lions. Not a chance.
I think every offensive Hall of Famer the Lions have ever had has retired too early in their career.
Yes, because they're like, I can't get out of this. This sucks. This team
Skill
hasn't been
position
good since the 90s.
I seen an interesting stat the other day. I think maybe it was you that shared it. Speaking of, Megatron, obviously, who we're talking about. In the first 27 games, DK is actually outdoing
Saw
Megatron.
that. How amazing is that?
It's like by 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, something like it's.
yeah,
Well,
Man.
do you guys remember if Darius Slade was traded, or was it just a new contract?
traded,
I think he's traded.
Yes,
I believe, from the Lions to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering. I guess like another stud that Lions don't have anymore.
Yeah.
Just none. Just
So,
none.
so do we like Derek Carr in this one? He's been a little flat
He got
lately.
he effed me pretty good last week in DraftKings because that was the quarterback I picked.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too. And I've
I
got
was like, how do you perform that bad against that team?
Well, I mean, I had to make the call on whether or not Big Ben was going to play. So you got to be, if there's keep postponing games, you got to play the guy
Yeah.
who's going to play.
He was poised to make a good performance as far as points goes, and
Yep. And then Atlanta just beats the brakes off of them.
Yeah, Atlanta's played better since they got
have.
rid of their head coach. I mean,
Yep.
they have played a lot better. So
But they're not that damn good. You know what I mean? Their defense looked ungodly. Their offense has always been good, but their defense just, we're just going to shut down everything the Raiders do.
I think just because it's you and just because it's me, our teams, Dolphins, Raiders, probably fool's gold this year.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. That's just how it goes. Jets. Anybody on the Jets we want? Denzel Mims has been consistently catching 4 for 60 or 80. He needs to get in the end zone. But
I mean, if there's a team to do it against,
we'll see. But even like last week against the Dolphins, they drove the ball, just wasn't scoring.
yeah,
I mean, I'd play Mims this week.
I
Perriman's available.
like
He-
Mims. I like
he's not
Mims
hurt, is
every
he?
week.
I like Perriman too. Hell, I'll be honest with you, Sam Darnold's probably a safe play this week. I mean, the Raiders' defense is just. I mean, our defense struggles. The thing that keeps in the game, the offense is performing so well.
Yeah.
if we can't get there with 4, we're not effective.
But to be fair, like the only way you would be playing Darnold is if you had Brady on bye.
Yeah.
Frank Gore's the man there now. So, I mean, do you play Frank
No.
Gore in his 15 to 20 carries?
No.
Sorry. And the Raiders do have a bad run defense.
I mean,
but no.
obviously if you're desperate, but I don't know.
He's been playing well.
Not prepared to do that. And, I mean, Raiders are like 4th worst in the league in run defense. I'm still not playing Frank Gore.
That's true. Anybody on either side that you strongly suggest as a sit? I wouldn't touch. I don't know
Frank
why.
Gore, yeah, I mean,
But I just, even though Aguilar's out, I still just wouldn't touch Ruggs.
oh, I'm off Ruggs right now.
Yeah.
Ruggs has to figure out what his role in the NFL is, and I think that's going to have to happen this offseason.
I wouldn't be happy to start him either, but
No.
I don't feel strongly about it because it's pretty much common knowledge amongst most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't count the things I've seen on Twitter that it's like, it's time to admit Darnell Mooney's better than Henry Ruggs. It's time to admit, and just every 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round receiver is better than
Yeah, Gabriel from the Bills, throw him in there too.
Okay. I'm not arguing with you. I'm the guy who was pissed off that we didn't take CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy.
Absolutely.
Like-
Could have had CeeDee Lamb.
Could have had Jerry Jeudy. Could have had Justin Jefferson. There's guys that were available. It's just, for me,
Well, Ruggs was the first receiver off the board,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That just
All
sucks.
of them were there. Well, it's one of those things. There's only one Tyreek Hill. Okay, there was only one. Well, there ended up being kind of 2 Danny Amendola's, or 3, because Wes Welker, Amendola, Edelman, all the same guy, sort of. But those guys are harder to pick out of the crowd than the next 6'3" guy who's
Yeah.
muscling people over for the damn ball. Those guys are like, well, this one's probably going to work out. Whereas the 5'6" guy who's just super fast doesn't always work out.
Yeah, and Ruggs belongs
I need
on
to
a
figure that, but-
Ruggs belongs on a Seattle Seahawks or a Houston Texans. Like they belong on a team with a guy that loves to go deep, and Carr's not really that. Carr's good at going
This
deep.
year, he's been very effective going deep.
He has, but they don't do it a lot.
Yeah, and
So-
we're I mean, ball traveled in the air. We're not talking about the 3 yard out that Tyreek Hill takes 80 yards. Carr's throwing the ball 25 yards downfield, 30 yards downfield.
Right.
So like, it's not that he's afraid to do it. This just happens to be a different different year for him, and it's the thing is it's going all to Aguilar instead
Yeah, I
of
was gonna
going
say
to
like
Ruggs.
if Nelson doesn't go, I would probably actually just stay away from Carr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's debatable for sure.
It's something you just can't. I'm not comfortable with it. The only person I'm really comfortable with on that rate, I mean, obviously Waller, right?
Right.
But I do think Booker has a good game.
I agree.
I can agree with Booker, but everybody else but the thing is, like, if you have Carr, that's probably your number 1 quarterback. So you're probably going to start him anyway.
Is it though?
I
Think
mean,
of the
you're not
price
gonna be-
you had to pay for Carr.
You're not going to be happy about it, but if you're on the 16-team dynasty, he's probably your number 1 quarterback.
Oh hell no! I've got him as like my number
Well,
2.
You're
I'm
one
a
of the
Raiders
fortunate.
fan,
You're
yeah.
one of the fortunate ones.
Yeah, but the cost for Derek Carr in the offseason was like quarterback 25.
I'm saying-
Oh yeah, it was a bargain.
But still, he's one of the guys that's probably your number 1. That's just the fact of life.
Well, I mean, you've probably been playing him because
yeah, and your
You have
backup's
to.
probably some garbage. It's just
Mike Glennon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
Speaking of which, the Jags are next on the docket. Jags,
Bobby Shmurda.
Vikings, Bobby Shmurda. You know it's Shmurda. You know it's Shmurda. So I guess before we get to that game, Shmurda, Bobby, says my starting lineup is Herbert, Kamara, Swift. I wouldn't play Swift this week. Jefferson, Thielen, Kelsey, D-Hop, Colts D,
Are you just bragging? at
Daniel
this point?
Carlson. Yeah, it's got to be a brag.
well, it's a 10-team league.
How do you think it looks before we go into the playoffs in this 8-team league?
The only person I'm not playing is Kamara if I can help it. But that's solid.
Yeah, you probably got to play him.
You have
If
to.
he's playing Swift, he's got to play Kamara. So Swift, I'm
Why
worried
don't you
about.
like Swift?
Swift is still having some issues. He's out of the concussion protocol, but like there's a report today that he's not the same. He's off. So I don't think they're going to risk it. I don't think he's going to play.
Interesting.
There's no reason to rush him back. It's the Lions. The worst coach in the league is gone. Sorry,
Hey,
I just hate that.
remember how good they handled the Javid Best situation?
Exactly.
I
you
forgot
got-
about him.
You got carry on and AP. Don't mess with Swift. I don't
Javid
think
Best.
even if he's active, I don't think he's going to get a carry. They're going to be careful with.
It's just hard for me to judge that lineup because it's 10-man league.
Yeah.
It's like because I'm sure the opponents are completely stacked
They
too.
have to be.
Yeah. So.
Right. Schmerda, correct us if we're wrong. If it's if it's a 12-teamer, I'm still not super surprised. But if it is more than a 12-teamer, and let us know who else you got at
Also,
running back. Everything else looks good.
Let me know if you ever got your hat back.
Yes, for sure. I went over my head actually. Jags.
He knows.
Jags and Vikings.
Jags and Vikings.
Jags and Vikings. This to me, this is a trap game for Minnesota.
Yeah, I actually think Jags will have a good chance with this one.
I do as well.
So, Jesus Christ, Gardner's back, right?
Not to my knowledge.
I think he's back this week.
He's fine. He's healthy, but he's not playing. Glennon's
Really?
playing.
Yeah, Miss Glennon.
Minshew's pretty much done. I mean,
Think
legit,
they're just walking away from him, huh?
I think so.
Well, I mean, he was injured. To the best of my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong with this.
He was really
did-
bad before he got.
Yeah, but I
injured.
know, but he didn't lose his job until injury.
They were considering it.
Okay.
They at the time, like he was on thin ice. So I mean, they've even said Lutton might play before Gardner Minshew.
Man, I feel like
I know, I know, but James Robinson, Glennon, I think Chark comes back this week.
No, I think
too.
he's out again.
He's not.
Yeah, he's questionable anyway.
I didn't even see him questionable on our league report.
I don't know what. I must have misread it. I don't know.
But
well, you're wrong, Neil. I haven't seen.
I've
him.
been wrong many times.
I have like no shares of him anymore, so it's.
can you
it's
look
very
up
disappointing.
Chark for us, Arms, since you got the easiest method there? But I like Chark, Robinson, Glennon. On the Minnesota side, Thielen's back, but typically in your
practiced.
first game back, I'd roll with Jefferson over Thielen in this one myself. I do think the guard is changing.
Chark,
You'd be
no
happy-
injury designation.
Okay, good deal. But you're going to play both wide receivers for Minnesota and be happy about it.
That's true. Yeah,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
got them both, you're playing them both.
No, I haven't seen if there's a DraftKings matchup on this, but I mean, obviously, you know you're going to have to pay a premium to get Jefferson, but he's going to be worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Should be.
I mean, think MVP, or your captain spot.
I do feel really strong about the Robinson play this week. on
I
that
do
one.
too. Stronger than the Cook play, actually. And
Yeah.
I don't know why. There's just I've got a good feeling about the Jags.
Because
this
James
week.
Robinson's he's bulletproof, man.
Seems to be
Like,
on a bad team.
yeah.
I mean that really says something about him. That's not a good team, and somehow he's still producing.
Like probably time for me to admit giving away for a first is probably a bad idea.
Might have been, but they still could grab a running back.
I
at some
know,
point.
but man, I cost myself. Just me. I was never in contention in that league anyway. So
Yeah, but we've seen undrafted running backs like have a great rookie year and then disappear, and that's the only thing I worry about with him. Broken record, bark. But anybody else? Jags, Vikings. I don't like Rudolph. I don't like any other wide receivers for Jacksonville outside of Chark. Not this week.
Even he's not. I don't know.
I like Chark a lot this week. I think
Okay.
Chark has a big game. That's just me.
Yeah, I understand. The only person I'm excited about on that side is Robinson.
Oh, Chark's only really had two what you consider good games this year to begin with.
Right. And he hasn't played with Glennon, and Glennon seems to have more of a spark for the team than Lutton did or
Yeah.
Minshew. And I just got a good feeling about Chark this week. I think him and Glennon connect on a couple big ones.
Hopefully for Chark owners.
Hopefully, indeed. Bengals, Dolphins. I talked about this game a little bit on the Back Row Dolphins show, which I'm fully back into.
And everybody's basically missing in this game. Everyone of A.
Yeah. So on the Miami side, you got Ahmed's out again.
Yeah.
I was hoping he wasn't. Matt Breida been put on IR.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah, Myles Gaskin it looks promising that he's coming off IR to play. Sure hope so, because DeAndre Washington is out as well. So Miami's down to
Hold on, my phone just buzzed. I think I'm going. I'm going to Miami.
yeah.
they just need we just
we
need
need
someone
you,
to get
Arms.
beat up for 4 quarters.
We need you. But there is, to my knowledge, it's going to be I don't know, Malcolm Perry or what's the kid we got from the Raiders?
Oh, Lynn Bowden.
Lynn Bowden.
There is a chance Lynn Bowden gets 10 carries in this game.
One of those two guys might get some run, but if Gaskin comes back, I'd look for a heavy. And it really looks like Gaskin's coming back. I think they'll bring
you
him
need
back.
it. You really need it.
Well, I need it too. I've got him on my IR in a league, in the EFC where I need to win. So I would love to play Gaskin over Damian Harris this week. I'll get to that later. But Devontae Parker, Fitzpatrick should be the guy. They're still being cautious with Tua and the thumb.
Yeah, being cautious with Tua.
Being cautious with Tua. I hope it's being cautious. Play Fitz. Fitz will get it to Devontae Parker. So Parker, I love in this game, especially with all the running backs out.
I love Parker any week when Fitz is there.
Yeah. Parker and Fitz, big connection. So those guys, Gaskin will be money if he's the only running back. Like, he's solid anyways, especially against the Bengals, he'll be solid. So I love Gaskin, love Fitzpatrick, love Devontae, love the defensive guys that have been performing well for Miami, Xavier Howard, Landon Roberts, Kyle Van Noy. I'm okay with them in IDP.
I think Miami's your DraftKings play here, though, for defense. It's probably going to be a little bit expensive, but I could see Cincinnati scoring 3 points or less in this game.
I think for some reason Bengals will actually do all right this game.
I think that it's bad. Well, so Cincinnati's allows the third highest rushing in the league.
Yeah, their defense is terrible.
I think that
Brandon Allen has done a little bit here and there, but I don't have much confidence there.
I think Miami gets up with 3 passing touchdowns early, and Myles Gaskin gets so many, or whoever
second half run,
whoever the running back is gets so many freaking carries that they're going to be forced into fantasy relevance. And I haven't checked the price, but my God, they got to be like $3,000 on DraftKings.
I just want T to see the ball.
Gaskin will be cheap because he's still on IR.
Yeah,
Gaskin will be dirt cheap. So
freaking Christian McCaffrey was still like $9,200 on IR. So yeah, it's like. So
I wonder if anybody made that move. Like,
just like mistake. You got to put CMC in. We're like,
gotta have CMC.
Well, you just lost.
I'm gonna do CMC and Mike Davis in this game.
Great job. Oh yeah. They're playing the Raiders. No.
Bengals plays. T. Higgins is the only guy I'm interested in.
Literally the only guy on the entire Bengals roster I have interest in.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to play Tyler Boyd if you got him.
Right.
Probably, but I don't like it. I like T, though.
I mean, Gio?
Gio, possibly, but I mean, if Miami does assert themselves in this game,
I mean, he's
PPR wise. I mean, he'll probably be catching balls out of the backfield. He's probably a safe floor.
He's probably like a 10-point play.
Yeah,
but Miami's, they're solid against the run.
Yeah,
they're
getting
overall
better.
A good defense, and I think that I personally, once again, I would play Bernard over Kamara.
Yeah, but once again,
right now, but I'm not liking playing Kamara or Bernard this week.
But by what you're saying, if Dolphins get by 21 points, Bernard's gonna see some PPR. So
yeah, he's going to get his touches no matter what.
Yeah.
So
I do think 10 points is a good projection.
I agree,
but it might be on 9 catches.
Floor.
Yeah, the floor.
That's the
might
floor.
be on 9 catches. Just 9 catches for 10 yards.
9 catches, 11 yards, something like that.
Nice job.
Yeah, Indianapolis and Houston. This is a big one, I have a feeling
good
about
Texans. Yeah,
I have a feeling about the Texans on this one as well. I mean, Fuller's out, which sucks.
Who's the receiver right now? They have nobody.
Brandon Cooks, baby.
I don't know. It's Brandon Cooks, maybe some tight end action there. Duke Johnson, they better have him out there. I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be.
Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks has been fine this year.
He
has. We're not saying he sucks. It's just like, but
he's a Sean Jackson.
They can shut him down, and who's gonna be the guy to step up? Who's it going to be?
I don't know. Brandon Cooks he's matchup proof. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but he is.
Oh my.
No, I'll bet he catches the ball 9 times this week.
Yeah, he should.
I bet he has over 100 yards. Right there's 19 points. You get the guy in the end zone. Oh, now he's very fantasy relevant. He's 25-point wide receiver.
Right.
So I love Brandon Cooks this week.
Got a question. Clayton Witt. Hey, fellas, sorry for the long question, but I'm so lost on what to do with these Saints. PPR, need 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, and a flex. The options are Kamara, Emmanuel Sanders, Mostert, Devonta Booker, Keenan, MT, A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson. Give me A.J. Brown, give me Keenan, give me Booker, and give me Mostert.
I go Sanders, Booker, A.J.
Sanders?
Miles Sanders?
Oh, maybe he does mean Miles Sanders. I was thinking Emmanuel Sanders. My bad.
Because it's with the running backs.
Yeah, he's got the running backs first.
Yeah, so
that's my bad.
So Miles Sanders, Devontae Booker. I go A.J. Brown and
Keenan Allen's been mine.
Oh man, I honestly,
Yeah.
AJ Brown's just for me the premium out of those guys. I really don't think you go wrong with any of the other three.
Yeah, but Keenan is just a monster.
Yeah, I mean,
Keenan and AJ.
Keenan's been consistent as can be. Keenan, AJ. I'm not playing Miles Sanders. It's Mostert
Yeah.
and Devonta Booker for me.
Yeah,
And that sounds crazy.
I agree. Mostert, but I agree with Jeremy.
Booker's going to be.
who the hell's Jeremy?
It's a nice play. Yeah, I don't know who Jeremy is, but it makes me feel closer to you that you use my first name. It warms my heart a little bit.
In the same mold as Gio Bernard, right? Miles Sanders is going to get his touches, even if Green Bay's up 100 points.
But he hasn't been. Miles Sanders been.
Let me see.
Yeah, pull him up.
You might. Is it-
Read the
it-
stats as well. We'll keep talking about Indy and Houston while you're doing it. Indy, is there? I mean, I like Trey Burton in this game, and I mean Phillip Rivers is probably going to be fine, but I wouldn't be excited about it. But there's nothing. Naeem Hines will probably. I mean, that's the same as Gio Bernard. You got a safe 10-point floor with Naeem Hines. He's been catching. He's been targeted and catching a lot of balls.
Sanders, other than last week, has had basically double-digit touches every week.
What was Sanders last week?
Well,
I
he
know it was a
had
bad game.
he had 8 last week, but into 6.2 points. Previous to that, he had 16 carries, 3 receptions, 15 carries, 2 receptions.
Think about how much better Miles Sanders would be if Jalen Hurts was out there.
I agree
Here-
with you 100%.
Well, Jalen Hurts is a really good running quarterback. So if you have the threat of the RPO with those two guys, I don't know what they're waiting for. I really don't. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is a better
Pride.
passer
It's
than
all
Carson
pride.
Wentz.
Pride
Must
and
be.
money.
But Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders, that's a dangerous combo if they can get in a rhythm.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. Indianapolis Arms, I like Rivers and Trey Burton. Neil hasn't really
Well,
said
I'm
quite.
just waiting my turn.
You could go before
Yeah.
Arms.
No, I say like
Fuck that guy.
there's a lot of great players on the Colts, but like you're not excited about any of them. I'm not. I mean, the receiving core, yeah, they have some good receivers,
Yeah,
but
I'm
you're
not
not
excited.
you're not wanting to play them.
Yeah, I like Trey Burton a lot this week, but to say I'm excited is it's basically the tight end landscape being atrocious that has me so high on Burton, and he's the tight end to own there. And Michael Pittman's still inconsistent.
Yeah,
There's just
like
you
this
know,
is technically a quote unquote good game, but like there's not any like
stand out.
blow off the page fantasy stars coming off this one.
Deshaun's a little risky if you really think about it. Without
Yeah.
Fuller, I don't. Who is he going to throw?
He's
to?
been really good too.
when-
It's just-
He has.
But the real question is, when has Deshaun not been good?
we've always said he's been good, but I wanted his
I mean, he still has off games, and
Yeah.
in the first one without Fuller, just I'm not saying don't play him. I'm just
his
saying
completion
there's a
percentage
chance
went up and stuff.
I think he'll be fine.
He probably will.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get some random tight end that gets 2 tight. Daniel Fells will be a random player or some crap like that.
Yeah.
Cahill Waring if he's active. I think this is a big game for Jonathan Taylor. So
Not I.
they're the Houston Texans are literally the worst run defense in the league.
They're gonna be slinging it though. I don't think, and Taylor's not really an option in the passing game.
And you're not excited about him either. That's like
I mean-
this is all about who you want to start.
Yeah, who you excited about?
He catches
Arms?
2 to 3 balls a game, and I mean, last week he got 22 carries. Jonathan Taylor 22 carries last week.
Who'd they play last week?
The Packers.
That's kind of surprising, honestly.
So 22 carries against the Packers. What do you think they're going to do? Or no, sorry, last week he had COVID. The week before he had 22 against the Packers. So playing the Texans, like they want to establish a run. Like they don't want Phillip Rivers to go out and sling the ball 50 times.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So the whole doghouse thing. When you give a guy 22 carries, it's over.
He's out of the doghouse.
You're out of the doghouse. Sorry, man, you lost that one fumble 3 games ago. You're no longer like they're giving him his run. And to be honest with you, he's got a hell of a playoff schedule. Texans, Raiders, Texans.
Texans, Raiders, Texans.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, if accessible, could lead you to a fantasy championship.
I don't want to be in a league that trading's still going on.
Me neither. But I am.
True.
Different story for a different day.
Things happen. All right. Anyone else in this game, fellas? Indy, Texans. I just like Deshaun to get off to a
Right.
kind of quick start and make the Colts play a little catch up. It should be a good game, though.
Are there any running backs? You like Duke?
No. I mean,
I mean, Duke's
no.
gonna be forced to see some action, but once again, like we said, he's gonna be probably a 10 to 13 point.
I think that's probably his ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
Indy does have a damn fine defense.
That's all I'm hoping for, Alan. Just like I just want at least 10 points.
Yeah.
I do think you guys are off. I think Pittman has a real solid game on this. I know you're
He
saying he's
should.
inconsistent, but I think this is the other, the up versus his downs.
I hope so, because I've got some Pittman shares. So Detroit, Chicago, battle of the coachless, not really coachless, but Patricia's gone. Nagy should be next. To me, this is a.
Is there anybody?
I mean, with Mitchell Trubisky in there, you can't safely play Allen Robinson. You can't be excited about really anybody.
Maybe even Stafford. Like, who the hell's Stafford throwing to? The Marvins?
Yeah, I mean, you don't. and DeAndre Swift, mark my words, he's not. If he plays, he's not getting much run. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not excited about. I'm probably just staying away from this game altogether.
Take the under.
Dude, Allen Robinson has been kind of bulletproof though. Last
What-
week he had 8 catches, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That's crazy with Mitchell Trubisky in there.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, you're going to play him regardless.
Yeah.
I'm just still not excited.
Yeah,
I know he's been good, but
even
my
if-
God, Mitchell
what was it
could
like-
really ruin.
I feel like it's like week
Excitement.
5 before Trubisky got benched.
And he played
wrong with that?
okay.
They were 3-0 when he got benched.
Were they 3-0? I thought they were 5-0. Because it was 5 for 74, 3 for 33, 10 for 123 and a touchdown, 7 for 101 and a touchdown, 10 for 90. Like, Allen Robinson's been a stud this year. An
Yeah,
absolute stud.
he has.
Now, he's questionable. All right. Apparently hurt his knee in practice. This is what Bears receivers have done historically.
Right.
I don't know what the hell's wrong with their practice field, but it's bad. So monitor that. But shoot, if he's active, you gotta play him. Jesus Christ, you gotta play him.
you're
The
gonna play
lines are
him.
so bad.
Yeah, this game's awful.
It is. I will double down. I'm playing DeAndre Swift if he's active.
Nah.
Here's a thought. This game makes me think of this. So I don't think Stafford's a Lion after this year.
Man,
He may be signed, but I
you're
mean,
probably right.
They're going to go full rebuild. And if there's any team, there's 2 teams actually that I think really could use Stafford's services, and the Bears are one of them. I think the Bears with Stafford would be a great fit, and also Stafford to Denver would be
Stafford
a
to
great fit.
Denver would be an incredible fit.
Incredible fit. But the Bears they've got to do something. They can't roll into you can't roll into 2021 with Foles and Trubisky. You can't.
Well, they've been rolling out garbage quarterbacks since their existence.
I know it's time to change
Look,
that.
smoking Jay Cuddy,
listen,
baby.
right? Nagy's going to be gone. There's going to be a new coach that wants a new quarterback, that wants a new offense, that doesn't want David Montgomery anymore. Allen Robinson's as good as gone. You need to get a young guy with Darnell Mooney and Miller and draft another receiver, unfortunately, and draft a running back, unfortunately. The defense is okay. You add a couple pieces in free agency and you draft accordingly on offense, and this team could take right back off.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously they got to get their coaching situations straightened out as well. But yeah, I don't. How is it that Jay Cutler was far and away the best quarterback this team's ever had?
How many good
I mean,
years?
seriously.
No, but how many good years did they
ridiculous,
have?
man.
I mean, as far as like, I know they had the Marshall Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey. Was that just 1 year they had that good season offensively?
I want to say they played together like 3 years, and they were both pretty formidable. But I know
When Forte was still there and
Yep,
stuff.
yep.
I think they had 1 or 2 years of decent quarterback play, but then Cutler started being Jay Cutler.
He gave no shits and like,
Yeah.
all right, see you guys. I'm going to smoke.
Yeah.
So
I love Cuddy. He should come back for the Bears right now. This
It's
game.
an upgrade.
Yeah.
This game. But yeah, there's no one in this game I'm excited about. Not a single person. I mean, I'm playing Robinson, but Mitchell scares me so much I'm not super excited. But they're going to have to throw. He'll be fine.
Sorry.
Allen Robinson will be fine.
You mentioned in the comeback for this game, did all teams start doing the designated survivor quarterback at this point?
They should. You don't want to end up in that Denver situation.
Like, do you bring in like maybe it's not one of your main which you should do one of the 3. You know, most teams roster 3 quarterbacks, of course, if you're unfamiliar.
Yeah.
But do you or just have some veteran like, listen, dude, like John Kitna, I know you're not doing anything.
Well, it's like
this year.
I forget who it is that has him right now, but McCown's on the practice squad sitting at home.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Do you just say we're going to pay you next to nothing to just be part of our team,
Yeah, that's what he's done.
and just in case you're our emergency quarterback?
I mean, somebody's got to be ready.
yeah.
You know, I mean, you've got to put him in practice. I think what every team should do, and this is a little off the rails, but you take your number 2 quarterback, you make him your quarantine quarterback, and you roll into every game with your first and your third. That way, if your number 1 goes down, your Trace McSorley comes in. Meanwhile, you got RG3 sitting in quarantine to be the quarantine quarterback. Like, give yourself, give your second best quarterback the chance to take over.
Well, see, I think you still go into the games with all of them, or with your top 2, but then your practice
COVID,
week,
man.
your practice week, you take them out. You know what I mean? That's how I see obviously, we're in such a unique situation right now. We're in such a weird time, but I don't want my backup quarterback to not be there on game day.
It's like we're on a boat. We're on a boat. Yeah, I get that. I mean, either way, designate somebody.
Yeah,
You
I mean, don't. I'm sorry, but like your 5th string wide receiver, probably not the best situation.
I would have loved if that guy would have done something
I
with the
would have too.
opportunity,
I
but
would
you
have
knew
too.
he wasn't. I mean, it's just the task is too big to come in as an undrafted free agent, practice squad wide receiver. Like, hey kid, you're gonna be slinging the rock this week.
You know, the funny thing about it is, I know he played quarterback in college, but there's an astronomical amount of players in the NFL that played quarterback in high school.
Yeah,
Like, damn near. I'll bet the stat is like 60%. You know, 60% of skill position players play quarterback. And then they go to their next program in college. They go to whatever position is appropriate for them. But tons of these guys have experience. You know what I mean? It may not be high level experience, but they've got experience at the game. Shit, like you could have found better than this guy, or maybe that's just a state of how bad the Broncos are.
I don't. I think they're a quarterback away from competing, and it could be
I'm not
Locke.
sure.
I mean, I don't think he's ready yet, but you know, I think they're close. But this Bears-Lions game, no thanks. Moving on. Neil's back. Saints, Falcons. This is typically a great game. I'm gonna say I'm predicting a Falcons win. I think they're catching a little bit of fire on offense, and I just don't believe in New Orleans without Breeze. I know they've won, but it's got to stop. It's going to stop at some point.
Taysom Hill single-handedly ruined Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
I said that a few weeks back, and
well,
it's
he's
true.
getting the goal line carries. I mean, your Taysom Hill and Latavius Murray is playing well.
I mean, he's not even passing to him out of the backfield though.
No, but it's because he's not passing. I mean, Matt Ryan could absolutely just blow up and shock him this week. And Matt Ryan, I'm playing him. Julio, I think, is questionable. I think he might even be out. Calvin Ridley, stellar play. Hayden Hurst, solid at tight end, especially without Julio Jones.
Yep.
On the New Orleans side, like, what do you do?
Alvin Kamara.
What do you do?
I'm scared of all of them.
from
I am too.
in 4 games, 8 receptions, 9 receptions, 5 receptions, 7 receptions, 0 and 1.
Yeah, that's not the way to do it. Jameis Winston needs to be in this game.
Jameis Winston does need to be in this game, and you know, honestly, if Atlanta jumps out, wouldn't shock me if Jameis did get in the game.
And don't get me wrong, if Jameis is in this game, mistakes will be made. But your offensive skill players will also be in a position to make a difference.
We've said it before. If Jameis was the starting quarterback, it elevates, you know, the Manny Sanders play, the Michael Thomas play. Like
You're still getting 2 to 3 interceptions,
oh, absolutely.
but you're going to get a touchdown or 3 too.
The thing is, like, Jameis is obviously not perfect, okay? But
No.
But after you see all the numbers throughout the Arians' years, as far as the interceptions, you kind of have to expect it. Because everybody has career highs in interceptions under Arians.
Right, go deep. That's
Yeah,
his
I'm saying
philosophy.
like I said, he's not great, but those numbers won't be nearly as bad. He won't have 30 picks if he gets in there. It just, I think he's been given a raw deal, and I want him to see his time.
I agree. He needs a chance with someone. I mean, that Washington football team, that'd be a solid dart throw. He's going to be cheap. Bring in
He's got the
multiple guys.
hat because it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. Will you stop?
No, it's gonna be a jet, but
Will you stop like trying to give him Jameis? You're hoping. You're just hoping.
Jameis to McLaurin, that'd be sexy.
That would be. But it's also kind of like not what he does. You know, that quick route runner guy. It's usually the go up and get it monster.
Yeah. But Jameis
Anyway.
Jameis needs to play in this one. No, I'm scared to death of everyone on New Orleans. I'm taking Atlanta players in troves in this one.
It's this 3-point spread too. I'd be all about taking the 3 points and picking Atlanta.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I'm with you. Take damn near every Atlanta player, and maybe Michael Thomas. But as far as the cost of him, he's not worth it.
No,
I
not,
mean,
not in
in
DraftKings.
Dynasty, you're most likely going to have to start him.
You have to.
But as far as in DFS, you're not wanting Thomas.
And I keep saying, well, I'd play this guy over Kamara. I'd play that guy over Kamara. You probably have to play.
I would
Kamara.
play Wayne
I
Gallman.
get it.
I'd play Wayne Gallman. There's a lot of players I'd play over
But,
Kamara.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like if you lived by him, are you willing to die by him? Because right now, Alvin Kamara is just Kamara. Alvin Kamara is killing your fantasy team. Taysom Hill is killing your fantasy team. This is not Alvin Kamara's fault.
I do love it though, because everybody always said that Arms is only winning because of Kamara. Look what happened.
Well, everybody's only winning because of one guy who's killing it on their team. Nobody's winning because they have a bunch of guys who are average.
You,
Hey,
you
to be
lose
fair,
your best guy,
that
you're
is-
in trouble.
That is my
no
team right
matter
now.
who you are.
I'm basically all average. I don't have a killer.
Now, I'm only winning because of Kamara, but I also have Julio. I also have Kenny Golladay. Like these guys aren't playing.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break.
Should have managed better. Next game.
I managed to get both of them.
Oh,
Get out of here.
love it. Speaking of Wayne Gallman, next game,
Go Wayne.
Giants Seahawks. I'm scared of Wayne in this one.
No, fire him up.
Really?
Fire him up.
Don't tell me that. I've got him, and I have decisions that need to be made.
Yeah, I'm happy to play him this week. But then again,
I was going to roll with Kenyon Drake and Myles Gaskin.
Kenyon Drake is like embarrassingly like third in the league in rushing, and I hate it. It's the ugliest top 5 finish in rushing I've ever seen.
Scared of Kyler Murray. You're not scared of Kenyon, so he's going to get some carries.
And
And
the thing,
he'll make some...
I traded up Kenny Drake, and it's like
It's not exciting.
no, the thing is, I get frustrated because I feel like I made the right move at the right time.
You made the right move
I think
because
so.
no sooner than you plug him into your starting lineup, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to play the Rams, who have a great run defense, and lay a freaking egg on you." It's exactly what's going to happen.
Scary. That's why I'm
Sorry,
scared of
sorry.
Gallman this week. Seattle, Metcalf, freaking Tyler Lockett. The Giants don't have, and this could be a good thing. They don't have Daniel Jones, or at least he wasn't at practice. I don't even know who the heck's the next guy up there.
Is
McCoy.
Is Eli Manning their
Colt McCoy.
Yeah,
Is Eli Manning their backup quarterback?
He should be, but yeah,
they got at least a week of McCoy.
I'd love to fire up Gallman. I don't know if this team could move the ball up and down the field. I know that Seattle's defense is not great, but it's
They've been better. Their numbers have been really, really good the last few weeks.
true. And I just don't know if Colt McCoy can get Gallman. Gallman's bread and butter's goal line carries. Can Colt McCoy get him to the goal line? That's what I worry about with Wayne Gallman this week. So I'm cold on Gallman. I don't think I can play him, and there's no wide receivers on the Giants that I want to play.
it's
Evan
so
Ingram will
scary.
probably be fine. He's been playing well.
Yeah.
So Ingram, I think you can start Ingram. Again, tight ends are just terrible.
Seattle, you're pretty much safe all the way down to David Moore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, actually.
On Seattle side, yeah.
I mean, Carson's back looking to get more carries. Is Rashad Penny ever going to play football again?
He's supposed to be cleared pretty soon. But
I'm sick of hearing about him. Let's forget about
I
him.
don't think
I'm
it
over
matters. Yeah.
So he's just out. He's no longer on IR, I've noticed.
And Hyde is hurt too. So
If Hyde is hurt, maybe. I mean,
No, hell, they're showing he will begin practicing next week, according to the head coach.
So Penny?
Yep. He's on.
don't think it matters, but what?
No, in several leagues I just have him showed as out instead of IR, but EFC's now showing him as IR pup. So I don't know. What's going on there.
Hard to tell.
I
But
think he's
give
been
me Seattle
activated,
guys.
but not practicing yet.
So,
Anyhow,
so you like Gallman? You like Gallman
I
this
do.
week?
That's basically that's basically because that's their only option.
I mean, it is. I mean, the carries should be there. Just don't know.
I mean, I'm not excited. Man, I'm a homered for that too. I should really say that, but
hell, Gallman's averaging 15 points a week over the past 5 weeks.
I
so-
just didn't want to hear it because I have, I guess Gallman's probably a better play than Kenyon Drake against the
but the
Rams.
thing is, like, but also the league I'm in, I also have like 75 people in buy for my running back, so I have to play him. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm in that kind of a position too. My running backs are Drake and Damian Harris, and I don't even know who else. I have the Miami guys except for Beretta. I don't know.
There's got to be a Giants wide receiver that's got to do something, right? I mean,
But you don't trust. That's the whole point of
Yeah,
our
you don't.
conversation throughout this week. Is like, man, who are you excited to play, or who would you recommend in DFS or something?
Right.
And I'm not comfortable to say this fire this dude up because Gallman at least could be reasonably priced on
Yeah,
DFS.
fair enough. I'm just sitting here thinking, Seattle's 32nd in the league against the pass.
Yeah.
Like they're worse than Atlanta.
You got
They got Shaq Griffin back though. I mean, that counts a
you
little
have to
bit.
check. You have to check the last 3 or 4 games. They have like top 5 numbers in defense.
Gotcha.
Because once they got Dunlap in, Snacks, all those guys,
Yeah.
they've been much, much better.
Which is why I'm scared to death to roll Gallman out this
But
week.
just out of necessity.
Yeah, it might be for me too. Anyone else in this game?
Nope.
Man, I will tell you, I think DK is just it continues his insanity. I don't think this
But
is that.
no reason
I don't
to
think
think he
that this
won't.
is that. Oh, Lockett's going to get 200 yards this week. I just think DK's.
But they really do trade off who gets what, it seems.
yeah, but it seems like DK.
Been a few games now.
Yeah.
For Lockett, right? I mean,
Yeah. But the thing is, like, it's always funny week in and week out how people always want to fight him. I was like, that's literally the last dude on the field you want to fight. And people, like, they want to try him. I was like, that dude would probably just rip you in half.
Yeah, why?
That's like,
Why is Jalen Mills out there? What?
Slay.
What?
Slay was trying to
I
fight
mean,
him.
I'm sorry.
well, Slay was pouting because he's getting torched.
But he was still playing. He was playing him as well as
He's
you could.
good, but
He
he's
was
just-
sticking with him. He just couldn't do nothing.
out of frustration, he's like mad. It's like, it's
And-
going to happen,
dude, and
man.
DK just. I don't know what he says. He doesn't lay
he
hands
gets
on him.
under skin somehow.
But it's just like
It's a mouthpiece.
He's just, oh, dude, I love that mouthpiece. The pacifier is great. I hope it's a real pacifier in there instead of a mouthpiece. It'd be even better. But no, he just, this monster of a human being has 5'10" wider or 5'10" DBs like throwing punches at him.
He's got to be saying shit like, "I could bench press you, snap you in half, and drink the blood."
Dude, so he gets 100 yards a freaking week, a touchdown a freaking week, and 30 yards in penalties because people throw punches at him. You gotta love it. Not to mention the pass interference penalties he's drawing.
Yeah, I
Right.
do love it.
But God, he's just a different animal. I was so wrong on him, and
Yeah, me
And I'm
too.
glad.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Because
He's
we
exciting.
liked him.
He's exciting.
It's not a guy you don't. I mean, that kind of size and speed, you want him to figure it all
Yeah.
out and become that next great generational wide receiver. And it looks like it looks like it's going to happen.
It's highly likely. At this
I mean,
point.
he's already just put up some great numbers for a second-year player.
over 1,000 and 9 touchdowns already.
Yeah, yeah.
I know we talk about this conversation a lot, but it's getting closer and closer for me taking him 1-1 at wide receiver.
No doubt. I mean, why not? The upside is just insane, and the floor is great.
And he's fun to watch.
Fun as hell.
So-
Becoming one of the most
Yeah.
fun guys to watch. You see a Seattle game on, your eyes are
I watch
on
Seattle games all the
DK.
time, yeah.
I try to too because I love watching Russell Wilson throw to DK and Lockett.
I love Carson, too, though. Either way.
Yeah, I do too. I do now. I just
Yeah.
this year seeing when he's in there, what he does with the ball. He's tough as hell, and I love tough running backs like that.
The argument though against DK is he's played 2 top flight corners, Patrick Peterson, Jalen Ramsey.
It made him look bad.
In that game, in those 2 games, he's averaged 2 catches and 25 yards.
Slay's one of the top corners.
Okay,
He is.
but the other 2, he had 2 catches in each game. In one game, he had 23 yards. One game, he had 28 yards.
Lucky for
No
him,
touchdowns.
Lucky for him, he's played the best of the best, and he's not going to see those guys every week. I mean, what has anyone torched those guys this year?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure too, but I wonder who. Like, did Travis Fulgham get him one week?
Probably.
Jakeem Grant took him down a notch one week. The one good game Henry Ruggs had just happened to be against one of them. Maybe
No, that was week 1.
I play DK against him no matter what.
No, I mean it would, but that's your argument against him being 1-1 versus Devontae Adams versus DeAndre Hopkins. Is those guys, whenever they play Patrick Peterson, well, I mean obviously Hopkins can't play Patrick Peterson; they're on the same team. But whenever they play a guy like that, they're still getting 6 catches.
Right.
So that just the fact that he can't play Patrick Peterson might put DeAndre Hopkins as 1 overall.
You're also talking about a second-year guy. Year 3, he might torch both those MFs.
Fair enough.
I mean, this is a second-year guy. I mean, third-year breakout. Could he have a third-year
So
super breakout?
keep in mind he played the Cardinals twice, of course, and 3 catches for 46 yards and a touchdown on one of them.
Hey, got a touchdown.
Did you? Surely. Oh, they played the Rams week 16, so we'll see how that turns out.
Speaking of the Rams Cardinals, who we like in this one, it should be a shootout.
Go Rams.
Should absolutely be a shootout. I like the Rams in this one as well. I feel like the Cardinals are kind of tailing off a little bit. I don't love Kenyon Drake in this one. Obviously, I do love
I
Hopkins.
do love Aaron Donald in this one.
Aaron Donald at the IDP. I love Aaron Donald too. What about Cam Akers? Cam Akers finally showed something when they gave him enough of an opportunity.
It doesn't matter there.
Why?
For a few weeks ago, I said if Cam Akers has a 15-yard or 15-carry game, he'll probably get the job and never give it back. But what's going to happen is they're going to be like, here you go, Darrell Henderson. Here you go, Malcolm Brown. Here's 20 carries this week for no freaking reason.
Yeah, but this is
I know
they've seen something.
But they saw something out of the other two at different times.
I think
the only running back on this team that doesn't have a 100-yard game is Cam Akers.
it's going to be Cam time. I'm gonna say it.
I hope it is. I think he's the best running back on the team, and I think he's been the best running back on the team all year. It's just he hasn't been getting carries. But correct me if I'm wrong, but a week will go by and Darrell Henderson will have 124 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the next week they give more carries to Malcolm Brown. So he gets 70 yards, and the 2 weeks later, Malcolm Brown gets 124 yards, and he gets 3 carries the following week. And you're like, what are you guys doing?
I'm going to say this.
Keeping on their toes to keep the running back fresh, but damn.
I'm going to say this. It's a high-stakes game. You need your weapons in this one. I mean, you can't walk into Kyler Murray thinking, like, let's give Malcolm Brown 7 carries and then go over there and give Darrell Henderson about 10 and maybe Cam 3 or 4. Let's roll out Cam Akers.
Been working for him.
Let's put it to the Cardinals. If they're going to take the next step to being a real contender, they need the running game. Real quick, Warrior 1-1 says, who would you start between Cousins and Taysom Hill? I'm all in on Cousins.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill just with Atlanta last week playing that well. If the Saints get behind, you think Taysom Hill is going to be the one? You think he's going to lead them back with his arm?
They'll let him throw the ball a few times, and
a few times.
Then he'll look like Jameis Winston and throw 3 interceptions, and then they'll put Jameis Winston in.
They'll put Jameis. Yeah, there's too much risk of Winston playing in that one, and Cousins against the Jags should be fine.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Should be a safe
He'll have an
floor.
average today. Safe's a good word.
I mean, he's got 2 different wide receivers are both going to get touchdowns, so you know you're getting 2 touchdowns out of Kirk Cousins.
You absolutely should. Rams, Cardinals, anyone else? There's got to be another guy on the Cardinals, but is it Isabella? Is it Christian Kirk? Kirk's disappeared a little bit lately, it seems.
And he's spotty, so I'm like, nah.
Yeah, no one to be excited about outside of Hopkins. Neither running back,
Even Murray's like somebody you could almost stay away from. Ever since that shoulder injury happened, he hasn't been running the ball.
It is risky. I like the Rams in this one. I really do.
Yeah, so go Rams.
I don't know if the Cardinals are going to play well at all. It should be a shootout.
I do like Everett on the cheap in DFS.
Yeah.
So who we thinking is the? And I agree with you, but who we think is the wide receiver then for the Rams?
Woods is
Woods.
gonna be
It seems like
He's
Woods
been
has
the
got
most
his target
consistent.
share back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They're both good.
Yeah. Well, somebody's got to draw the coverage from Ramsey, right? Or not Ramsey, Peterson, right?
Yeah, but Peterson's been getting beat up this year too, so I mean, I don't really care who he guards.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about him either. I mean, I know that he shut down DK sorta, but I haven't heard a lot about Patrick Peterson playing lights out. You've heard more about Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey for that matter.
By the way, this is going to be a fun matchup just to watch for the defensive backs.
Yeah.
Good receivers, good defensive backs. This is just going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
Should be. Might be game of the week.
Yeah.
Until the Rams get up on them big and close it out with Cam Akers.
I kind of hope it happens.
I really hope it happens. Defensively, you like Aaron Donald. Micah Kaiser is out, but I think what's his name? Troy. Troy
Hill.
Troy Hill.
He's been putting up the points for me.
Yeah, and someone else. There's another linebacker that's been playing some. What the heck was his name?
Justin Simmons or not Simmons?
Isaiah Simmons. Yeah, Isaiah Simmons has been playing well IDP wise. Another question. Warrior 1-1. I'm stuck between Kenyon Drake, T. Higgins, or Sterling Shepard. Who would you start? T. Higgins.
T. Higgins, but I don't like any of them.
Yeah, I'm not excited.
I'm not terribly thrilled about any of them.
Yeah, Drake's a solid sit for me right now. I'd
sit Shepard before I'd sit Drake though.
I'm not familiar with what Shepard's done lately. I know Golden Tate had a game or two that was decent, and the Giants, it's just scary. T. Higgins is a very clear cut.
I think Clear's pretty strong, but I'd still pick T.
You think
I
who's
would take-
strong?
No, I'm saying I think Santa's strong. Like I mean, as far as being clear, the clear favorite. No, but
I think it is. I think T. Higgins clear favorite now. I mean, I'm not. I don't even want to play Drake, and Sterling Shepard. I don't remember last time I did want to play him. T. Higgins is a guy that I'd struggle with sitting.
Yeah.
So to me, it's clear. But
Yeah, agreed. Back on that game, I think Hassan Reddick actually has a pretty good game.
Son Reddick's been okay.
Okay, but he's just so average normally. 6 points a game. But I think the Rams try to get up or try to establish the run, and I think that he has to show up to do something.
And Jordan Hicks should be fine. Jordan Hicks is, you got to start your studs on the IDP side, so it's like, who do you talk about? Troy Hill's the biggest talking point IDP-wise, like Neil was saying. Moving on. Patriots, Chargers. I feel like these guys have already played each other 3 times, and I don't know why. I have no idea why, but New England, rising, playing better. Defense is playing a little better. They're finding a way to get it done with Cam somehow. Justin Herbert, he's going to get some yardage. He's probably going to get a touchdown or 2.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler's back, so I think you got to play Eckler. You can't.
Well, I mean, my God, you have 11 receptions last week already.
Yeah, the volume was crazy out of the gate, so you
They're
got to
just
play
like,
him.
hey, I understand you just got off fire. Here's all the catches.
Yeah.
So did this? I didn't catch it. Did it affect the receivers much?
Keenan Allen was still fine, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
things like I have 0 shares on anybody on that team, so I don't focus too much on
yeah.
them.
Keenan
That's my
Keenan
fault.
Allen's just been straight money every single damn game,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate that I traded him last year because I'm not a Keenan Allen guy. I'm not a Tyler Lockett guy. I'm sick of not being a guy that likes some of these studs.
Tyreek Hill's a one-trick pony.
I don't think I said that.
No, but I
Shut your face.
You're kind of like me though. You like these diamonds in the rough. You like these underdog
do,
stories.
man.
I understand. I understand where
and
you
I
come
like
from.
the big names too. I love the DKs and Devontae Adams. I
Yeah.
try to get shares of some of those guys, but ask me if I've tried to get a share of Keenan Allen. No, I've only accepted when offered.
You know
And,
the thing is,
and
like-
I don't know why.
Is it weird that everybody who has Keenan Allen is always trying to move him? It's like nobody wants to keep him. It's like,
He's
what?
so good. And it sucks. It sucks to just not be on a guy's bandwagon to where you're like, well, yeah, I'll trade Keenan Allen for a first and Marvin Jones. Sure.
I mean, that's how I always felt about Allen Robinson.
I know. And now you have him in our league of record.
No, I don't.
Oh, you traded him.
I traded him for Kenny Galladay.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't a good.
Like Kenny Galladay was day to day.
Okay, let's talk about the
It goes
Patriots
week
here.
to week
Yeah.
and month to month, now season to season. Get the hell out of here.
Jacoby Myers to me is still an okay play. He's the guy. Damian Bird bested him one week. Demir, sorry, bested him a couple weeks ago. I still like Jacoby Myers. Damian Harris is the guy to own too, but I don't know if I like him in this game.
That's the thing with Pats all year. I mean, it's like I'm not excited by anybody. I mean, actually, Pats have a good chance of winning this game, but I'm still not excited about anybody.
The problem with Damian Harris, if one thing would just change, goal line backs. Let's throw Burkhead out. Damian got us
Burkhead's
there.
on IR.
I know, but Damian gets you close to the goal line.
Cam.
And it was Burkhead or it was Cam. Now that Burkhead's on IR, James White vultures 2 touchdowns last week.
And of course,
Like-
I didn't play James White in
And
any
they
league.
were-
You know what?
And
Fuck you, James White. That's what I got to say. I have Damian Harris in so many leagues.
I hate Bill Belichick
Me too.
because
but
this is what he does. Bill Belichick hates fantasy football. If you have literally what is happening, what you're describing is the reason I will not own Patriots running backs. I never have.
I'm all in on Damian Harris
I-
still. Not this week, but long term.
You
But
could
he
have counted on LeGarrette Blunt when he wasn't in there.
But for no yards.
Jonas Gray.
18
But-
touchdowns.
but
I'll
for-
take that.
Yeah, but for a touchdown and a half a game, you know what I mean? And 7 yards. That's all you're going to get out of him. So I go, great, you got 8 points. That was awesome. You got 8 points out of him, but nothing else. It's infuriating.
It is.
And they give Damian Harris is like a baller. Like he
good.
runs people over.
He's good.
And James White is more scat backish.
And they give James White
And
goal line
give him
carries.
the
It's
goal
like,
line
wait
carries.
a minute. He comes from Wisconsin as a complete guy mostly.
Yeah.
And you turn him into a pass
Right, he had
catcher.
like
But now that Burkhead's out, you're like, James White, you're now the goal line back.
It's Sonny
'Cause
Michelle.
we
It's
know
Sonny
you
Michelle's turn
compounded
next.
in there.
Watch.
Yeah.
Sonny Michelle's gonna do some vulturing.
Probably.
He's right. Like
I know. You can't play. You can't. I mean, it's hard to trust Damian Harris, but he gets the bulk. If he could just break one a game.
if you look at what all these running backs did in college, I would be willing to bet Damian Harris has more receptions in college than James White or well, no, Sony Michel had more receptions.
Yeah, Michelle
but,
was-
but they
yeah,
won't.
they
But they
won't
don't
do
throw
that.
to Sony Michel. They
So
throw to
messed up.
James White. They only give Sony Michel
They
carries,
don't
but
even
now
throw
they give
they
Damon
don't even
Harris.
throw to James White anymore.
I love James White. I still think he's underutilized. Either way,
What's going
He'll
on?
always be underutilized. He can run the ball.
I feel like Bill Belichick just drafts guys like, oh, is this what you're known for? Nah, you're never doing that again.
I feel like he lines up his running backs, closes his eyes, and walks in. It's like third down back, primary ball carrier, goal line back. Get out there and win the game.
now it's gonna be like Connor Oshetsky. Whatever he's gonna be
Yeah.
running the ball. He's coming and run draws.
Just
Yeah.
Random people.
And you're like, did you really just pick Cordero Patterson to be the bell cow? And you put James White at the goal line and you put LeGarrette Blunt as the pass catching back? Like, what's going on, Bill?
It's like Bill Belichick does acid, decides and it works. Just this is what I'm
mean,
gonna do this week, and it's worked forever.
It worked with Brady.
Yeah.
The jury's still out whether it works here, but
Well, Cam is arguably the problem, though. Cam, they've got defensive players that are out. This isn't, they're opted out for COVID. There was injuries. This just isn't the Patriots team
No, it's
as a
not.
whole that we've seen.
right,
So, I mean, this is just a weird season.
it is. But you think the Patriots win this one, Neil?
I do.
I do too.
I think-
I hate
yeah.
to say it, but
I think Bill's gonna have a good plan against Herbert.
I agree. I think they're gonna frustrate him a little bit. I think he'll still have a statistically good game. Fantasy game will be fine. Maybe Cam actually, Cam was playing okay before a shoulder injury of his own. Speaking of Kyler Murray, and Cam hasn't looked the same throwing the
He
ball
hasn't.
since.
Since I really do. I do want him to stay another year. I really do. But I'm not excited to play him anywhere.
Yeah, he should stay another year. They need to draft a guy and actually let Cam play instead of trying to do this whole Tua bullshit that Miami's doing when they've got a veteran playing decent. Anyways, different story for a different day.
Now,
That's all I like on out of those players. There's not even anyone defensively I'm super excited about on either team for IDP purposes.
So is just throwing this out. I know you guys are massive Kyler fans, and
I'm definitely not. I've never said that.
Okay. I thought everyone. No, Hux is the one who always
Yes.
got on me. But Herbert's actually number 4 right now. In the last from week 8 on in points per game as
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah, he's-
2 points ahead. Well, a point and a half or so ahead of Kyler Murray.
He's good.
Yeah, Herbert's. I mean,
Real deal.
I'll be honest with you. I think that I'm going the opposite direction here. I think Chargers win this game.
But
I think they win
Herbert's
it-
got that rookie touchdown record in the bag too.
I think they win it going away.
Yeah. I still think it's Patriots, but I won't be surprised either way. This should be a good game. There's some good games this week.
It's 1.5 points. So it's basically a pick 'em. So
Yeah. Good game. Philadelphia, Green Bay.
This has got to be Jalen Hurts' chance to get on the field, right?
I don't think so.
Green Bay-
They're going to
just
be
don't-
behind.
Green
I know,
Bay- yeah, I'm
I
saying,
know, but this Philly
Yeah.
team just isn't. I don't know.
Green Bay's defense is just bad enough to where Wentz might have a little bit some decent numbers.
I'm with Neil on that one. Man, I hate it. I would love to see Hurts play. I have shares in just about every damn league.
Yeah, I think everybody but Wentz wants to see Hurts play.
Yes.
it's just, there's too much money involved, too much pride involved.
Yeah, they pay him too much. They're not going to move on until he plays out the season being as bad as he has, and then they might consider, and then they might draft a guy and keep Hurts as their backup. Who fucking knows? But I'm confident in absolutely no one on that Eagles side, and on the Green Bay side, I think Aaron Jones has a resurgence week. He's been a little down. It's been all Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Jones is really good in this one.
I'll go back there. I think Miles Sanders has a fine week. I'm still. Is Jalen Reagor ever going to pop?
I don't think so.
I'm concerned.
Not this year.
I don't think this is the week for it. Obviously,
But Wentz is also just terrible.
yeah, I think Goddard's just going to continue to do what Goddard does, and I mean, if you've got him,
Richard
you're-
Rodgers has been playing out of his mind, catching touchdown passes anyway. He's kind of Rudolphish.
Yeah, but hell, Goddard's been doing well.
Yeah.
Well,
He's literally the only player I'm excited about on that team. I can't stand watching the Eagles. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I don't like watching him either. If Jalen Hurts gets in there, I'm all about watching.
Well, yeah,
I
fire
want
him
to see
up
what
then, yeah.
changes. I'd love to see, like I said earlier, that Hurts and Miles Sanders RPO backfield. I think it'd be fun to watch.
so last 2 weeks, Goddard's averaged like 19.5 points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, I look at it as like this guy, he's got to be top 2 or 3 at the position. And it's not like it's top 2 or 3 and because second or third place is trash. You know what I mean? Like
It's
he's
pretty damn close. But either way, Goddard's a really, really good play. But outside of that, I don't want anybody.
No. I mean, I do. Sanders should get his. Somehow,
he'll have
some way,
touches.
he should get his.
Oh,
But
sure.
love Aaron Jones in this one. Rodgers will probably be fine. Devontae will probably be fine. I like Alan Lazard in this one. If Rodgers is going to have a Rodgers-like game, still like Lazard. I'm not getting off that bandwagon until, he's played 3 or 4 games and does nothing post-injury. So
From week 9 to week 12, Dallas Goedert is second in fantasy points per game to the tight end to only Kelsey. Obviously, Kelsey's a baller, right?
Did it start when we found out that he rode a unicycle? Is that when you really got on the Goddard train?
Dude, I was on the Goddard train coming out of college.
you
know
sure it
that.
wasn't a unicycle?
Well, we all know that I have an affinity for unicycles. But Goddard's 15.5 points. Mark Andrews is just under 13. Richard Rodgers is
Beastin'.
4th
Beastin'.
in the past since week 9. He is 4th in points per game at 12.367 points per game. So just take that as you will. All about performing Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, and even Darren Waller.
Real quick, we've got a call, but before we take the call officially, we'll make this quick. But Ed Gallagher asks, you guys trusting Booker this week? Yes, we are.
Yes.
Or Fool's Gold a la Hill from last week? No, we're all in on Booker this week. It's a great DFS play in our opinion, and we just really like him in that game. He's been solid when he gets the ball. I've been a fan of him for a long time. I just never thought he got the right opportunity. But we get a call from Texas. Who we got?
Hey, what's up? My name is George.
What's up, George?
Football fucking sucks.
Oh, my God! What, are you guys playing Fortnite?
Fuck you.
Are you guys playing Fortnite?
Why would you watch our podcast then?
I don't know. People are
Like
funny.
that's what it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You're watching our podcast, and you call the number to tell us you don't like football. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
Hey.
sometimes when you're playing Minecraft,
I'm a
you
troll.
get bored.
Also, my stepdad's name's George. Congratulations, you have the same name as a 65-year-old man.
The way I got to look at
Peppa Pig's
yeah.
brother is named George. What a coincidence.
Oh, that's true.
They had a good time. I'm happy for them. I'm all about people having fun. That's good.
68-year-old.
Good job having fun, George.
Great job. Proud.
I
of you.
don't think his name was George either.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's from Texas.
Doesn't
Right?
sound like George. California. I wonder if this is another prank one.
Please be the same person.
Is this a prank? Okay.
Like why?
We'll go ahead and take the call-in screen off because YouTubers be YouTubing. So there we go. All right.
Still,
let's-
why are you watching a fantasy football podcast if you don't like football?
Who knows?
Anyhow, carry on.
Carry on, Johnson.
Not Johnson.
Denver, KC.
I like Kansas City football players.
Yeah, especially against the
They're
Broncos.
They're good at footballing.
They're pretty good at footballing.
You might as well
Just
get silent.
silent it.
Yeah, we'll just
We
silent
both know that. That's
If
garbage.
you actually want to talk football, you can comment on the chat and say, hey, say something about your lineup, and then say I'm gonna give you a call. Anyways, anybody Denver? Do we like anyone?
I do not.
No. Like
Fan.
no. Maybe.
So I mean, they're going to be throwing. They have to.
I mean, Judy, Patrick, those are the two that they've got to get targets. That they're going to be behind, but I mean, you can't trust Melvin Gordon. You can't trust Philip Lindsay.
Right.
I mean, what Royce Freeman's 2.5 carries a game average? You're going to trust him? I mean, there's just. I'm sorry. I don't even care who plays quarterback this
yeah.
week. There's mistakes to be made. I'll tell you who I do love, the Honey Badger.
Well, yeah.
He's going, which from a fantasy perspective, he's not that effective of a safety, but I'll bet he has 2 interceptions this game.
It's hard to say. Like the Fant's the only guy that you're going to play because that's probably most likely your number one tight end.
Absolutely.
And outside of that, there's nobody on Denver I want to play.
Barker, how many cameras do you have on the back of that phone? Jesus.
Like 5. Something like that.
I think it's more than 5. But whatever.
But outside of
5 cameras, sensor, Flashlight.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha,
we can move.
gotcha.
We can move on.
Yeah, but other than Denver, like besides the fan, I mean, there's no bite for me. Then Kansas City are starting to obvious studs.
Yes, and there's a lot of them.
I mean, I'm not too excited about CH this week.
Well, he's sick. CH could possibly miss the game. It's up
Right.
in the air. If he's out, I mean, you got to think Le'Veon Bell's going to be fine. I don't think Le'Veon Bell's going to do Le'Veon Bell things historically. But
wonder how high he'd be on for DFS. He could be. I mean, that'd be a nice play too. But I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Bell had. I'm sorry. It felt like he had a lot more touches than 7 last week. Did it not?
He should this week. CEH,
It's
probably
not
play.
confirmed yet, but either way.
But I wouldn't play Le'Veon Bell even in the event
No.
CEH is out. He just doesn't. I said CEH is what I said.
CEH.
Did you hear that come out? I say EH.
Yeah, but
I know I got an accent anyways,
You
but
got to think that that running back position's bulletproof, right?
what?
Kansas City's running back position.
I don't think so. Not with Lev Bell. I would not play Lev Bell.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
It depends how cheap he is on DFS, but
Yeah, sure. DFS, I might take a stab. I mean, you can play so many different lineups. I'm gonna put
well,
him in one
that's
of
the
them.
night slot. So
Oh, that's what she said.
yeah, so
Sure,
he's
now it up.
actually it's only available showdown
captain,
anyway.
captain.
Night slot. That's a sexy phrase.
Yeah, but I'm not sure they even have that priced yet. Let's see. Anyways, carry on.
Carry on. Anybody? I like Miko Hardman this one too. Just gonna throw that out there.
I don't like Mecole Hardman any week.
Pull him up.
And I'm wrong.
Pull him up.
No, I'm just saying, and I'm
He has-
wrong.
He has big weeks.
I know, and that's the problem. He also has weeks where he just
Very Nelson Aguilar like.
he's had a 18-point week, 12-point week, 22-point week, and a bunch of 7s, 5s, and 0s.
Yeah.
So no, that doesn't sound fun to me.
Sorry. I like Miko. Moving on. Defensive guys in this one. Josie Jewell's been good. AJ Alexander's been good. I don't know about him in this one because Patrick Mahomes probably going to be throwing the ball well over their head to Tyreek Hill and Miko Hardman.
Le'Veon Bell's 2,400 on that.
Oh,
show.
yeah.
That's a great buy if CH is out. You might want to lock that in now. I don't love him in fantasy, but I mean for $2,400, you're getting a hell of a fun dart throw.
Well, to be fair, they could be up, and Bell could get several carries.
He should get, if he's the guy, if they're not going to give the ball to, who the hell else do they even have? Spencer Ware? I don't know.
LaShawn McCoy, is he still there?
Daryl Williams.
Christian Okoye, is he still
Darrell
there?
Williams, yeah, he's there.
Yeah, but
It's going to be
Christian
Lev
McCoy.
Bell if CH is
Jamal
out.
Charles.
Yeah.
Larry Johnson. Priest Holmes.
Keep,
I can keep going.
keep it up.
Marcus Allen.
Okay, keep going.
No, I'm done. That's all. That's all I got. That's all the greats
DeAndre Washington, he was there for a minute.
for like literally a minute.
Literally
I
a
don't
minute.
think he made it to a season because he was a Raider. If I'm
No,
not
he got traded to Miami this year, just recently, a couple weeks ago.
What? DeAndre Washington. I thought his last stop was in. It was
Casey?
No, I thought it was in New Orleans.
Casey traded
I think I'm
him to
different.
Miami a couple weeks ago, deadline deal.
He's irrelevant. As irrelevant.
Oh,
gets.
I agree.
He's like almost Lynn Bowden bad.
Now let's talk about Neil's team, the Washington football team. He's wearing a hat and he says no.
No, it's not my team.
Well, I guess we got questions first. Been hurting at quarterback since I lost Prescott. Who should I start? Goff, Fitz, or Stafford? I just want to go Goff, sort of on this one. I like Fitz. I love Fitz as a Dolphins fan, but I mean, for me, I think it's Goff.
I go Goff as well.
Don't the Dolphins just have a juicy matchup? Who
They
did they
do.
play this week?
The Bengals. I mean,
Bengals?
it is a juicy matchup, but it could also be a juicy matchup for Gaskin, and Fitz may not have to do much.
Give me Fitz.
I really like Goff in it. And Ed Gallagher says, got any favorite tight end streamers for this week? Saw Jonnu out. Maybe Ferkser, Rudolph, Gesicki. I like Gesicki. Trey Burton's my guy this week, though, for if you're hurting a tight end. My guy. You guys have one to add?
To be fair, I don't think Gesicki's a streamer at this point. I mean, what league are you in?
I mean, Gesicki is also better with Fitz.
Yeah. So, And what I'm saying, streamer, like he's been pretty decent, and most people still own him based on his high points.
I don't think he hasn't really been that decent.
I
He's
do-
kind
yeah.
of touchdown dependent, just like
Damn near
Rudolph.
every tight end is touchdown dependent.
I know
Which,
this.
which I
but
think that's what I think Firkser is going to provide. To be like maybe 1 or 2 catches, maybe a touchdown.
Yeah, I just
Gesicki, man, whatever. He's got a 27-point game, 14-point game, couple eights.
recently.
No, he's got an 11.5-point game last weekend.
I mean, Gesicki's fine. I mean, like
I'm
I
just
said,
saying.
out of those guys, it's Gesicki, but I like Trey Burton a little bit more, and he's probably on your waiver
I actually
wire.
like Firkser out of that group.
Mark Cisneros says, I think Goff is due this week. I agree. I do think Goff's going to have a good one. Goff's the guy for me.
Like I said, I like Fitz. I feel like Fitz can be productive with like 4 grocery baggers.
Fitz Goff bet. Oh,
Just so we're clear, just go ahead and put Golf in because I've been wrong. Like every bet last week, I was wrong.
that was last week. It's a whole new
Yeah.
week. I'm going to be wrong on everything. Trey Burton will pull an egg. DeAndre Swift will run for 300 yards. Just
By the way, Mark, I love how you said Golf's due. Like 2 weeks ago, he had a 40-point game.
yeah.
Just like-
I think he's due again.
Like we're not talking
Do it-
like he's
do
just,
again.
just bad. It's
He's
like,
about to break out.
just about
do
to.
again.
No, I knew that he had some decent games, so I didn't think it was like a lot of pretty goods and then like one dog crap, awesome, and then total dog shit. So
Moving on.
yes,
Well, we're on the football team versus Pittsburgh. Is this Pittsburgh's first loss? Does Alex Smith and Anthony Gibson get it done? They looked vulnerable for a minute against the Ravens until later in the game.
can we?
They're not going 16-0. Someone's going to knock them off, and it's going to be someone unexpected. I'm calling the upset of the Washington football team and their solid pass defense over the Steelers this week.
Here's what I'm going to say: this Washington team is more talented than the team that Baltimore put on the field on Wednesday.
Well, no shit.
Yeah.
But look how close that game was. That's what I'm getting at.
There's a lot of factors, and I wouldn't even think about what happened on Wednesday as anything. That game was that's an anomaly.
It was kind of a mess.
Okay,
But you're right at the same time. No one's wrong.
Baltimore's game plan didn't change. They did what they've done, whether they had Lamar Jackson or not. If anything, it became somewhat less predictable. Did you know what RG3 was going to do? They ended up playing 2 different quarterbacks that game. And they were in it. At the very end, they were still in it. Like I think I'm with Barker. Washington's got a good shot to win this game.
I like it.
I mean, I love basically all your skill players.
It's a 7-point spread too. That's what I just checked. Give me that 7 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that Alex Smith has a 350-yard, 3-touchdown week.
That's
No,
not what the.
I think McLaurin still does what McLaurin always does. Gibson's
there's-
going to be fine.
Yeah, Gibson's pretty solid, and J.D. McKissick is kind of a threat. If they use him, they're going to have to in this game. So before we keep talking about that one, Mark Cisneros also says, who should I start in my flex? Juju, Melvin Gordon, or CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, everybody but Gordon.
Literally.
Yeah, it's Juju. It's close. CeeDee Lamb's pretty...
I do
But
think.
Juju has actually produced pretty
has.
well.
Oh, here
I
recently.
mean,
particularly.
the targets have been there.
Yeah, give me Juju.
He's been fine.
Yeah.
I like Juju in this one as well.
Because even with the Washington's DBs aren't the best. That's the reason why I see them get picked apart.
But how it's still a who's the threat at wide receiver? And that's not being an asshole thing. That's like, who are you going to try to focus your attention on?
Yeah.
Who draws the number 1 coverage? Because they have 3 guys that can be in that conversation.
And the fact
James
of the matter
Washington's
is
good
they're
enough
all-
to be a
they're all
number 2 on
producing.
most teams.
Yeah, Juju's startable. Chase Claypool's startable. Deontay Johnson is startable.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben's favorite target to throw to and contested catches is James Washington.
Yeah, whenever they said that, I'm like, why are you
throw
saying
to
this?
him more then if that's the case.
It's like he's a big, strong guy. I'm like, no, you're describing Chase Claypool.
Hands and he catches it out of
You're
here.
talking about Chase Claypool, but you're looking at James Washington. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I do think. I
Should
think
we talk about Collinsworth real quick?
just being horrible.
I don't know. Could you imagine being a sportscaster? One of us would trip over something and
Oh,
say
absolutely.
something stupid. We would. I know I would.
Yeah.
I say stupid stuff to my wife all the time. Like, oh fuck, I should not have said it that way. I mean it this way, but she's hearing it this way, and I'm fucked.
Yeah, no, I do that all the time.
And I really do. I'm like, I try to explain, like, this is not the way I meant that. I'm just a dumbass when I'm going too fast and talking and got too much up here. I'll say something just ridiculously stupid that's like, man, that's not even me.
Hey, sportscasters get fired all the time over something that they didn't mean to say, but they were sometimes consciously trying not to say it so hard the accident it's something slipped
Now,
out.
the ones that say the really bad shit, like good riddance, but
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Collinsworth got a little ahead of himself, and I don't think he meant it in a bad way, but he's also, not a young guy that knows how to not get canceled. So, yeah, that was fun. Anyways, you think Pittsburgh wins? I'm going to call Washington with the upset.
I mean, an upset can happen. I ain't saying that, but I just
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's 50-50 picking these
One
games,
thing I
so.
will say, I think, which he's been fine all year, I think Chase Young actually comes away with 2 sacks and maybe even a strip sack. I mean, Ben's good. Ben gets rid of the ball decently fast.
I mean, that's Washington's only chance as far as winning, in my opinion, is getting pressure.
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean,
I agree with that 100%.
Young's only got 4.5 sacks. It's not like he's been killing
It's
it.
not that, but it's between Settle, between Sweat, all that front, and that front's insane.
Yep.
So I think this is the coming out party that we were all kind of hoping that Chase Young was going to be. I mean, week 1 he looked like he had a ride. Week 2 he got another sack, and then he just kind of tailed off and
He got hurt, too, though, didn't he? Missed a game.
missed one.
He's starting to get the double, triple teams too. So
Yeah,
Right.
but the talent can prevail through that.
Oh,
We've
it's
seen
awesome.
it with
I'm just saying,
JJ.
yeah.
We've seen it with the Bosas. Like sometimes, if you're that good, it doesn't matter how many chips you catch, you're going to get to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody who just stands out as a fantasy starter sitting this one?
James Conner. I'm not
As
as
a
a
sit?
sit.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Absolutely, a sit. I don't want any part of any of the Pittsburgh running backs.
No, I don't either.
This game will be won through the air for Pittsburgh. It'll be won on the ground, through the running back position.
Well,
I believe for Washington.
And like,
But
Neil said, pressure, and Anthony Gibson's going to have a good game.
Antonio Gibson.
Hey, I said Anthony, didn't I?
Either way, I'm kind of even scared to play him. I mean,
Oh, yeah, me
you're going
too.
to play him, but
Me too.
But with the we talk about touches into the floor. Like I feel like Gibson's floor is like 15 to 18 points.
Oh, fantasy wise, yeah.
Because he's
well,
going.
I'm
to
so,
but
I'm
he's
still,
going to have to he's going to have to have a good, like 100-yard game and a touchdown and a little bit more for them to come out on top.
losing Bud Dupree does matter. So
Yeah.
That too.
go Logan Thomas, huh?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
next man up.
I
Always
mean, Logan might be an okay playing DFS, but outside of that, the scary Terry and Gibson.
Yeah, and Mark Cisneros said Washington's playing better. Might be a setup game for the Steelers. That's why I feel compelled to call it as an upset. I mean, I love my trap games, and this kind of seems like one.
It just solidifies
And it's
Washington.
5:00. It's a 5 o'clocker.
Washington,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to get up and watch that.
Yeah,
Just solidifies them as the powerhouse in the East.
yeah. Hey, they're hungry to win that East,
Hey,
and it's not
hey.
going to take much.
I said it before the season.
I mean, a win against Pittsburgh, and you can crown them, crown their ass.
I said it before the
Division
season.
champs.
Actually, I think they might have an insurmountable lead at that point with five freaking wins.
Very possible.
God,
Bills,
that's so bad.
Bills Niners with one left on deck. Even though we started talking about the games early, we're still running a deep one tonight. Bills, Niners. I really want the Niners to win because I need Miami to catch Buffalo and hopefully beat them to win the division.
I'm excited to watch this game.
I'm excited about this one too. San Francisco's a little healthier. Honest to God, I don't think it matters if it's Nick Mullins or Garoppolo. The play's going to be similar. Raheem Mostert,
I'll go Debo.
Ayuk
got
is
Debo
back.
and Ayuk.
Oh man, I love Ayuk.
Both of them.
Yeah, got them both. I mean, they're set up to pull the upset on the Bills, but will it happen? I like Diggs and I like Allen just fine. No running backs in Buffalo for this one. Give me Mostert. I don't like Debo in this one necessarily because I think Ayuk is the better PPR option.
So, to agree with you there, Ayuk, I was pulling up stats real quick. In his past 3 games that he played, 6 receptions, 115 yards, 8 receptions for 91 and a touch, 7 for 75 and a touch, and then he had COVID.
Right.
Like, so.
And Debo hadn't done anything even when he's in there until Ayuk was out.
Yeah, he spoke to me last week.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, last week that's all they had, and they made sure to pepper him with targets and a little more. But I like Mostert. I like Ayuk. I usually don't like guys coming back off of a game to go big, but I think Ayuk's kind of.
But he also wasn't injured though, right? He was ill.
Yeah, and I
There's a
don't even think he had COVID. I think it was like a close contact situation, I believe.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that either, but play your studs in this one, basically.
And at this point, rookie wise, he's a stud.
Yeah, Ayuk is definitely. Ayuk's a great. I mean, he's a wide receiver 3 easy.
Yeah.
So you got to play him.
Buffalo, at least keep firing up Poyer, too. He's been insane and put up crazy IDP numbers.
For you IDP folks, that's Jordan Poyer. Still not a big name, kind of like the Blake Martinez of the defensive backfield in the NFL.
But it feels like he finishes top 6 every single year.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think he might.
This guy was a Cleveland Brown and went to Buffalo as like, a kind of a grab free agent guy, like not even a big deal. Like probably didn't even make a Roto World blurb. And all of a sudden he's one of the, top IDP guys at his position. Cowboys, Ravens.
This game's terrible. I don't even want to watch it.
Super terrible. Don't even want to talk about it.
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. if Mark Ingram's out.
I assume Andrews, is he eligible?
Yeah, last I saw, he's still on the COVID list. I think he's eligible to be reactivated.
No, he's got till Tuesday. Still got half a week to get up and going. Look at that. We're getting Sunday football, Monday football, Tuesday football.
So he was out last week with a positive test.
I don't think he's going to be eligible.
Yeah, so I'm not. Well, it doesn't say. It's been 5 days since there's an update. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure by this point he's probably tested negative, or they would have announced him out already.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's got to open up like some targets for Hollywood Brown, right?
I can't trust that.
Seemingly, I can't trust it either. I mean, without that play last week, it would have been another dud.
Well, then they all are.
Right. I mean, you're talking about the Henry Ruggs of the Baltimore Ravens.
Once again, there's only one Tyreek Hill.
Right. You're talking about the Jalen Reagor of the Baltimore Ravens.
Still only one Tyreek Hill.
Well, on the Dallas side, are you excited by anybody?
Absolutely nobody.
I mean, Amari Cooper will probably be fine, which you're going to fire up your studs on that end,
Well,
too. Dalton was fine last week.
The top 2 you're going to play.
Yeah.
But
Gallup, don't think about it. Zeke, you got to play him. I mean, you're not going to sit any of these guys.
But no sooner than you don't play Gallup, he ends up with a decent game. That's what pisses you off.
Yeah.
CD Lamb, he's real with post Dak. It's like terrible game, good game, terrible game, good game.
Yeah. Mark again says Dobbins or Juju in the flex. I just got to go Juju still.
I agree.
Juju's got such low risk involved with him.
Yeah, safe floor. JK could get 15 carries and go off, or he could get 5 and do nothing. It's too risky. We love JK. If they were committed to him, we'd probably say JK Dobbins because he's a complete back in our eyes. But, it just hasn't happened yet.
Well, we're obviously missing something.
He's the Jalen Hurts of the Baltimore Ravens.
Fair enough.
I'm just going to keep throwing comps out there.
Jalen Hurts, the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. I mean, you want to see him take over, but are they going to do it?
Doesn't it almost feel like
He's the Cam Akers of the Baltimore Ravens.
it feels like so Lamar could be back this week.
Should be.
Could and should. I mean, you got to think that he's going to have an awesome game coming back.
I haven't seen an awesome game out of him lately.
No, I mean, yeah, he's 30-point games.
Look, you're going to see an awesome game out of Frank Gore. Said no one.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson is literally the Frank Gore of the Baltimore Ravens.
Shut the hell up. I'm just saying, like, if there's a get-right game, it's
I'm with
the
you, Mark.
Cowboys.
I need a win in multiple leagues. It's come down to this. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
We appreciate that.
And I'm in the same way. As far as needing wins, I need wins and other people to lose in some leagues, and it's frustrating because I have good teams, man. Good teams just end up with bad situations.
Now, if we're wrong and we missed on those, don't call in and just go fuck you, 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 fuck you.
And tell us how football sucks.
Best call
even though
ever
you're listening
from
to our
Texas,
podcast.
nonetheless. I expect that out of Texas. That's right, I said it.
Anyhow,
Anywho's. Who else is the other player of the Baltimore Ravens? He's the Willie Snead of the Baltimore. Oh wait, he plays there.
actually, I feel like Willie Snead's out. This week, too,
He's
isn't
COVID.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no,
it doesn't matter.
Well, with Willie
was
Snead,
playing
out,
okay.
then once again, they've got to throw the damn football to somebody, right?
Right.
So maybe Hollywood Brown gets 5 targets. You know, I mean,
And I really have nothing against like the Baltimore team at all, but I hate watching them.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah, it's not fun and nothing.
They were last year. They were fun last year, but I still don't like watching them. It's one of those things. Like I've never gave a shit about the Ravens. Just never did.
I really never have any shares with them, and plus, like, it's not exciting to me.
It's part of why I traded Lamar Jackson because I don't like watching them.
It's
So why do I want
yeah.
him on my team? Like to have to, Which I hate the Packers too. I don't like having Aaron Rodgers on my team necessarily, but.
damn it, hate having top 3 quarterbacks.
No. I traded for him
that
for a
piece of
reason.
shit.
I just wish it was someone I liked watching better. Like, man, I sure wish this was Mahomes. Who
And I know he's going to end up in
Bad.
the Hall of Fame, but like there's other guys that someone said he's a top 5 quarterback all time. Shut the fuck, he's not even close.
Who?
Aaron Rodgers. He's like top 15-ish.
He's not top 5, no.
No, he's
Top
definitely
5 in what, all time?
Yeah.
Or
Top 10.
Somebody had posted it's not like I don't remember what it's about, but it said him and Tom Brady. It's like it's not like he's a top 5 quarterback all time like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. I'm like, first off, you're definitely talking about good. Yes, Tom Brady is. Aaron Rodgers
Lot of
definitely
really
not.
good quarterbacks out there.
all I will say is he's top 10
Top 10. Yeah,
All time?
I'll give him top 10.
all time. We can discuss this off air, but yeah. top
Yeah,
10.
I'll give him that.
There's no way. He's border. I mean, just off the top of my head, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, Brett Favre, Steve Young.
Is Brett Favre really
Yeah.
better?
Yeah.
We'll keep it. You know what?
I mean,
We'll end the podcast and we'll keep the stream for a minute. So let's talk about this post pod.
that's fine.
So this is only an hour and 42 and not 3 hours and 40 minutes. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. If you're with us on the live stream, more content coming your way. Peace.
See ya.
Later.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.
All right, so the stream's still going. We're talking Aaron Rodgers. He's 11th all time in passing yards.
Okay.
So to me, that means
Eli
far
Manning's
we're
eighth.
So far, we're I mean,
With
he
2
is.
Super
Eli
Bowl
Manning-
rings.
Eli
And-
Manning's 8.
And Aaron Rodgers has 1.
Now calm down. Calm down on Eli. I didn't know Eli was going to be part of this conversation.
but-
Did you,
but-
Neil?
He's gonna make it a part.
But add in Drew Brees, right? I personally all time I'll take Ben Roethlisberger over Aaron Rodgers.
Same.
All right, so now it's starting to get dicey if he's going to be a top 10 guy.
No, I think he's top 10.
Who,
But again, I could change my
Yeah,
mind
I
here.
mean,
We're,
so
we're
we
going
can
through
talk
the
about-
stats.
we can talk about Terry Bradshaw potentially being better.
Bradshaw
than him.
didn't put up great numbers. That's all defense.
Yeah.
The old guys are
100%,
irrelevant.
100% with Neil.
Irrelevant.
Troy Aikman, again.
I'm just saying there's a lot of
Great
people that
team
can
around
make
him. He wasn't
arguments
that good.
about with Aikman being one of those guys. Personally, I'm with you guys. I think Aikman had a better team around him.
Aikman is
I mean, you can make
40th.
so you can make a lot of arguments.
Aikman is 40th all time.
Alex
in
Smith is
passing yards.
28th all time in passing yards.
I
That
was
is
saying, like-
freaking amazing.
That is amazing.
Jim Kelly,
Jay
you can make
Cutler.
that argument.
Jay Cutler's 29th.
4 straight Super Bowls. You know what I mean?
Ryan
So
Fitzpatrick.
you're making fun of Rodgers for only having 1, but Jim Kelly had 0.
But he made it to 4.
So
You know what I mean? Like,
how many
I'm
does
just
he
saying
have?
there's arguments to be made that he may not be a top 10 quarterback. He's definitely not top 5.
Let's look at passes completed real quick. Aaron Rodgers is 10th. Eli Manning is 8th.
There we go.
This looks similar to
because
the
Rodgers
yardage.
is like almost at the top in quarterback rating, almost at the top in completion percentage.
Let's look at touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers moves up a little bit, 7th all time, and he should be able to. I mean, he'll definitely
He'll catch
pass Marino.
Rivers. He'll catch Marino.
Yeah.
Should catch Favre depending on how much longer his career is.
Yeah,
I mean,
he should. I don't know about Peyton.
I mean, yeah.
So I mean, touchdowns are going to be up there. Carson
Brady
Palmer,
Peyton
13th
Brees
all
is
time.
Some crazy numbers.
Eli 9th all time. Eli is very underappreciated. Those last few years really screwed him. Russell Wilson, man. Russell Wilson.
You know, I would take Russell Wilson all time versus
20th.
Aaron
all-time
Rodgers.
passing touchdowns. That's crazy. Passer rating. Mahomes, Watson.
I would
we knew
also
that.
take Patrick Mahomes over Aaron Rodgers all time.
Oh, I would
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I would too right
'cause
All right, so now he's out of the top 10.
Not necessarily. We're looking at passing.
No, I'm just with the
Percentage, Aaron
names I've
Rodgers
already
is there.
said that pushes Rodgers. Probably he was going to be 10th, 11th already.
No, I think
Based
he's
on
top
numbers I'm
10.
saying.
I mean, I haven't seen enough
All right,
other guys
so-
to take him out of the top
So once
10.
again, I'll put Mahomes
Okay,
over.
hey, I tell you right now.
Okay, you can't put Mahomes top 10 all time already. He's going to get there. He
But
could
Aaron-
knock Rodgers out later, but he's not, you can't.
But you literally just said I would take him all time over Aaron Rodgers.
At the end of their careers, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right now, no. Like, who would I want on my team? It's Mahomes. 'Cause
Would you take Mahomes over all time? Would you take him over Russell Wilson?
right now, no. Yeah, things could happen. I'm not willing to project Mahomes already and just like start cutting guys out that have played long careers.
I get where you're coming from on this, but I'm just saying like from a who's done what at the position. Like Mahomes has no chink in his armor. You know what I mean? Like he's done nothing but be incredibly successful. I understand Rodgers has too, but Mahomes is on an insane trajectory, a trajectory that leaves Peyton Manning and Drew Brees and Tom Brady in the dust in every
Okay.
meaningful statistical category.
Can we take out anyone that's played less than 5 years on the all-time? Like, can we just look at the facts of the matter and talk about guys that are already considered all-time greats?
Okay, I mean that's fair enough. So once again, are you taking Russell Wilson or are you taking Aaron Rodgers? All time, their careers end today.
Aaron Rodgers, if
Yeah.
their career's ended.
See, I think Russell Wilson's a better quarterback.
Give me Aaron Rodgers all day. I'm not an Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers fan.
I'm me neither.
I'm just. It's just facts, man. I'm sorry.
I just get
facts.
sick of people putting him in the same. He doesn't belong.
It's not. People are putting him there like it's the fucking stats arms.
But the stats don't bear it out. He's barely top 10 on stats. Whenever I'm saying the people bearing it, saying, "Oh, well, he's a top 5, no doubt about it." No, he's not.
Less interceptions than Brees. Less interceptions than Rivers.
there's-
Roethlisberger, Brady.
I understand.
I mean,
that.
everything needs to be
well, he-
taken into effect.
You cannot judge a quarterback based on interceptions. Like there's guys out there. I'm sorry, but if that's the case, what Nick Foles is a freaking Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Get out of here. Especially if we're talking about 5 years.
Aaron Rodgers has thrown 88 interceptions in his career.
James Winston's also throwing 88 interceptions. And he's
I know,
garbage.
but he's played like 5
He's
years to
garbage.
Rodgers 15.
No, I get that.
That's incredible, honestly.
But
that's incredible.
But I'm sorry, but
I'm saying the
you're
stats.
You're not going to knock Peyton Manning for his interceptions. You're not going to knock Drew Brees for his interceptions. You're not going to knock
But
Brett
if you're
Favre
going
for
by
his
stat stuff, it's just the completion percentage, the QBR. He doesn't make too many mistakes.
is
one,
Brett,
I will
is
tell
Brett Favre top 5 all time?
yes.
No, he's not.
How is he not?
Brett Favre top 5 all time.
What category is he not top 5 in?
He's the all-time leader in interceptions thrown.
Right behind
okay.
Unitas, isn't he? It's close, isn't it?
I mean, he's thrown 67 more than you. I mean, I love Brett Favre. Again, I'm going to say
sorry,
top
but
10.
Iron Man.
but-
Iron Man. That's what
but I'm
saying.
putting
Right.
once again. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, Joe Montana,
I think-
Steve Young, Brett Favre. Like that's.
I take Rodgers over Brady.
That's 6 right now. See, what?
If I was starting a team today, I'd take him both.
Well, you're
yeah,
starting
yeah.
team
No,
Sorry,
today.
team
after
today.
primes. I'm talking about after primes. I would rather have Rodgers.
I don't see how.
I love Brady, but Brady's like to me, he's like he don't have the skill set that Rodgers has.
Brady's thrown twice as
But
many
he's got.
interceptions.
I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to
But
go about the conversation.
He's a winner. You know, has Tom Brady ever had a losing season?
I don't think so.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers had a few.
Rodgers had some bad teams.
You're the leader of the team.
I'm
You know
with-
what I mean? Like
I'm with Neil.
you're part of it. I mean, Peyton Manning. Whenever he leaves his team, they're a 1-win team. You know what I mean? So are we saying that the teams that Peyton Manning was on was trash? because whenever he goes there, they're 13 wins. Whenever he leaves, they have 1. So did Peyton Manning have bad teams? That's the question.
He didn't.
It's a fair question.
He never really did.
His defenses were always shit, right? He goes to an 8-win team in Denver.
Did I ever once say I want Rodgers over Peyton Manning?
No, but what I'm saying is like you're saying, well, he's had some bad teams. Well, the argument can be made that Peyton Manning had bad teams because when he leaves, they're terrible.
Plus, Peyton Manning's a dumb quarterback.
A dumb quarterback?
A dumb quarterback.
Oh, dumb quarterback. I'm sorry. I thought you said dumb.
Dumb.
Like, what's dumb about him? No, I'm just.
And gets carried to the second title.
He did get carried to a second title, 100%.
Yeah.
You could. Listen.
Mark, I don't think Julio is going to play, but I don't think that's concrete yet.
Yeah, I have no idea on that one.
Yeah.
No idea on whether Julio plays. I'm sorry. Just
We'll have to do this in the offseason, get into some all-time debates.
yeah, I agree with you. And then
Because, I see your point. I see Neil's. I look at the interceptions, lack of, with the passer rating, with the top 11 passing yardage, top 11 passing touchdowns. I'm like, man, you roll that all up in a ball, and honestly, he's failed at nothing.
But if you roll it all up in a ball, how does he only have 1 title?
You got to have a team around you. Troy Aikman, you want to call him one of the greatest of all time?
There's a lot of people to make the argument.
I've never heard any of those.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I know, but it's like
First ballot.
But okay,
You know what I mean?
A Hall of Famer post Troy Aikman is different than a Hall of Famer now. No, hear me out. If Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning, which Eli, I'm with you, he deserves to be in. If Rivers and Manning had played in the 90s, they'd both be in the Hall of Fame, probably first ballot too, because that was a time where Marino didn't win shit, but he's definitely one of the best passers of all time. But Troy Aikman won a shit ton. Troy Aikman,
25 touchdowns in his best years.
Yeah, he's just, he had the team around him. So if Aaron Rodgers was on those Cowboys teams, like, holy fuck, man. How many titles did the Cowboys have if Aaron Rodgers was there for the years that Troy Aikman was there?
But the argument can be also made: they need Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball 40 times in a game because they had Emmitt Smith in that offensive line?
Yeah, I get that.
The game is so different today,
right?
I mean, what kills me is everyone will just dismiss the possibility of Eli Manning being a first ballot Hall of Famer, but then turn around in the same statement say that Aaron Rodgers is top 5 all time when Manning beats him at almost every category, including interceptions because he throws more. But no, I mean, I get the QBR and stuff like that, but other things come into this factor. Other things come into play, like consistency, right? So
Rodgers is very consistent.
I understand that. Where I was going with consistency, like that's where you get Jim Kelly being right there, John Elway. Like John Elway, 2 titles, man. And whenever he retired, one of the top statistical passers from every category. Like there's guys out there. It just Rodgers to me, if you're going to put him in the top 10, it's going to be the back half.
I'm starting to think the opposite now. I'm thinking he's right after 5, like 6, 7, and he's still got time left to up the ante.
So let me ask you this: so where do you put Steve Young?
I mean, Steve Young was fucking awesome, but I
had Rodgers ahead of him.
I definitely have Rodgers ahead of him.
That's where the difference is. I think Steve Young, whenever in his playing time, the time he was in the NFL, was a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. I'd rather have him on my team. Now then, concussions. I'm talking about playing when him actually being on the field and playing the damn game.
Hating on Aaron Rodgers.
It's not that I hate on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is consistently the most overrated quarterback possible. I just get sick of people just.
I don't agree with that.
Where you name one thing he's overrated in, Arms? You haven't been able to do it yet.
I'm trying to name one thing he's failed at. What has Aaron Rodgers failed at?
Winning more than one ring.
What's wrong with one ring?
Brett Favre won.
How hard is it to win? Let's go through the list of the all-time passing yardage guys. Drew Brees, how many rings does he have?
He's got 1. Does he have? I feel like does he have 2?
No, he's got 1.
I know he's got 1.
We know Brady's got more. We know Peyton's
6.
got more.
Yep.
We know Brett Favre has
1.
Phillip Rivers,
none.
Dan Marino,
none.
Roethlisberger, a
2.
couple. Eli, 3. Oh, two. Matt,
It's like having 3 though.
Matt
But
Ryan, none.
beating that undefeated Patriots team's like winning twice.
Elway has 1,
2.
He has 2.
2. Ward Moon.
0.
Let's look at a different category real quick. Passing touchdowns, and see.
But I mean,
Lots of all-time greats have 1.
I understand that, but let's also look at the game was entirely different whenever Fran Tarkenton played. The game's entirely different than when Joe Montana played. Johnny Unitas, Warren Moon. I mean, the game was different when Carson Palmer played.
It's different now too. You can't hold on to players like you were able to back then.
how many
players
no,
switch
that-
teams
that's,
like
that's where you're wrong.
crazy?
How many franchise quarterbacks have ever switched teams in your lifetime? Like 3? 3? Peyton Manning.
I'm not talking. I'm not okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Like-
not talking quarterbacks. I'm talking. You got a good team. Next year you could suck ass because 4 or 5 guys that were vital to your success are gone.
Yeah,
Because everyone's looking for the big payday.
but winners typically keep players. And I mean, look how many people went and played with Tom Brady.
If
for
Aaron
a freaking
Rodgers
pay
wins
cut.
a Super Bowl title this year, then what?
I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, and I'm not saying he's not at minimum, a French top 10 player. He probably is top 10, but I just think that he's more towards 10 than he is towards 5. Like you guys thinking that I'm just saying Aaron Rodgers sucks. No, that's not the case. I'm just saying stop putting him in the same breath with Tom Brady. He doesn't belong there.
Debo, Devontae, or Deontay? It's Devontae for me this week.
Yeah, it's definitely not Debo. Man,
I like all of them.
I think it's Devontae as well.
Yeah, Devontae Parker for me. Anyone else got to add to this all-time where you have Aaron Rodgers at? Anyone that's watching on your all-time, if you just had to throw a thing out there, keep it, hopefully you've listened and are catching the pros and cons of an Aaron Rodgers top 5 quarterback of all time.
Something else it's weird that quarterbacks are judged more on rings than a running back or a wide receiver. Nobody's making the argument that, let's say Barry Sanders. If you say, well, Barry Sanders is all-time great, nobody's like, Emmitt Smith has 3 rings. Okay. Or Terrell Davis has 2 rings. Okay. Like nobody's saying that's the qualifier. So it probably is a little bit of an unfair way of saying that, but man, the quarterback position is one of them that you've got to be clutch. That's a factor. And I understand Rodgers has been clutch. Once again, not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that there are other players I'd rather have as my quarterback. If I knew their careers were going to turn out the same as they do today, I would rather have a few other players.
I don't know. Rodgers just has failed at nothing. Failed at nothing.
Oh, gosh, sorry.
You're good.
Choking.
Should we do any reactions tonight? Yay or nay?
It's up to you.
I'm good, buddy. If you want to.
I don't know if we have anything worth reacting to.
We'll see. We'll look at it.
We'll take a look. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Sorry I started choking to death at the end.